And that's the story of how I became a prince in a little town called Bel Air. It's just one of those things. So yeah.
Wow, yeah, I thought I've heard some crazy stories in my day, but that's gotta be the absolute craziest.
Yeah, it takes me
Especially
right back.
the part where you were talking about how you were just like chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Like I was,
And then it just went nuts from there, right? Just
yeah,
all blew up. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you were just shooting some b-ball like outside of the school. I don't know. That's weird that the situation evolved and escalated that quickly.
It
Absolutely
did, and then the
fantastic.
next thing I know, I'm moving halfway across the US and whistling for
Yeah.
cabs, and they even had little dice in the mirror. It was quite cool.
Frisco Belt says that accent really says West Philly.
Yeah, I think you've clipped my camera probably a little bit too high. You probably need to just lower me down a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's because your angle is different than normal. Usually you have your angle set to where you look straight at the TV in the back, and then there's like kind of a shelf of keyboards on either side. But
Yeah.
here you have a very different angle.
Yeah.
So okay, we're gonna fix this in real time.
It's because I've changed the camera that we're doing it with, so that's why.
Yeah, there we go. Hopefully that looks a little bit.
Oh! I could feel myself moving. Then there we go.
Does that please you, my lord?
Well, it's about pleasing chat. That's the thing. They will complain.
It's not possible to please chat, Jay. It's not possible to please Twitch chat. Twitch chat is by default unpleasable.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Does that work for you though? Is that what you wanted? Because obviously you're
That's
not
fine.
you're not at a straight angle anymore. So
No, and that's kind of partially intentionally because then
that's
it means
fine,
that
yeah.
I have to, because I kept finding that people thought I was staring at them while I was talking to them, and now I actually have to look and stare at you to talk to you like this. I have to consciously do it.
What's kind of interesting is I've always had somewhat of like a sideways angle, and I've always had it to where I'm facing you, and you were generally looking forward. So now I think it actually looks better because it looks a little bit more like I'm facing you and you're facing me.
Looks like we're talking to each other, and there's something between us, right? There's something just here that's just out of frame that we're talking about. Yeah, agree.
Yeah. I'm gonna just because we're still in the pre-show, we have not officially started yet. I'm gonna flip over to the news viewer real quick because this is gonna look even sillier on the news viewer, I bet. Yeah. So because since we're side by side, obviously on the main portion, but on the news viewer side, we are stacked, which makes it look really, really dumb, but that's okay.
It doesn't look dumb. It looks fine. I think your definition of dumb is wrong for this one. It looks fine.
All right. I think it looks better on this particular screen. So we're just gonna pretend.
Sure.
We're just gonna pretend this is just how it always is, and we're gonna just roll with it.
It's fine. It's fine. Straight Classy, thank you very much for the 12 months of subs. Says, hope you noticed this during pre-show. It's been an amazing year, homies. Love you. Thanks very much, man. It has been a good year. It's only 17 days into it, but it's been a good year so far. Melodette says, subscribed to Twitch Prime for 21 months. Thank you very much, Melodette. That's very, very cool.
That's pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. Singapore says, I don't think I've ever seen Jay at this angle. It's slightly different to last week, so it has been gradually twisting slightly over the past couple of weeks. This is the most it's ever been at an angle, though.
I like this. I don't like watching it when you're staring directly at the person. I think it's kind of funny to look at. I think this kind of like crooked sideways angle is the proper angle.
Yeah. Ooh, looks like the hype trend's back on this week as well.
Oh my gosh. I actually read
Level
up
two?
on what that is, and it was effectively exactly what we thought it was.
Yeah.
There's like no real rhyme or reason to it. It's like a bunch of people just like donating.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciate it. I thought it was like something more than it actually was. So I was like going through the hype train FAQ.
Yeah, I read through it as well. Zapocalypse as well, thank you very much for the 11 months worth of bits. He sends us a little heart logo, so thank you very much for that, dude. Appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
I know you meant the 12 months of subs, Straight Classy. I know, I just had to pretend you weren't on about that and make it something different. Level 3, guys. Level 3 on the hype train. There we go.
Woo. I don't remember how many levels there were. Is 3 the final one? Oh, it's 5?
Yeah. So Jay Schiff sent 500 hoodie bits. Thank you very much. I think we're both wearing the same hoodie, actually. Are we both
Are we? This is the Clack hat, yeah.
Yeah.
Notice the lighting differences between ours. This is. I mean, in theory, this is the same exact color. So.
It probably is if you had them next to each other
Yeah.
in real life, but I have my lights quite subdued and not quite as bright as when I'm doing build streams when it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't want the bright light on me too much. Skewed, thank you very much for 11 months of subs. Melodet, thank you very much for the 100 bits as well. Cozy Fanatuti says, no background, just face, just Jay's face. Interesting. Yeah, we could just zoom in onto my face if you want, that's fine.
Yeah, if you want, I could do that. I could just make Jay's face the only thing you see for the entire show, especially while we talk about news. You guys would like that, right? That'd be good. Shout out to Jay Shep with the 500 hoodie bits. Both rocking these hoodies. Heck yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For that.
Tectonic Plate as well with a 17-month of sub. He says hype. Mountain Blocks as well with the 15 months of sub, and he says happy Thursday and or Friday, everyone. Yes, it's Friday for me. Yeah. My name is the Royal with 400 bits.
Happy Thursday and or Friday.
Yeah, because it's Friday for you, Friday for me, and it's Thursday for you, right? So it depends on who's watching. So you're saying happy Thursday and
wouldn't you just say happy Thursday or Friday? Because nobody can have Thursday and Friday at the same time.
Well, they can during the stream because it might their hour might flip over from Thursday into Friday.
That's still 2 distinct different days. That's not.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
I'm triggered. It's 2020.
Fropsy with the 500 bits. Thank you very, very much. Eskimo just says keep calm and consider cat lich. Maybe, yeah, absolutely.
I still need to buy that,
as well. Yeah, Super User 4 subscribed to Twitch Prime for 12 months. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Thank you for that, guys. Very, very nice. We do tend to get most of our... I think we get the vast majority of our bits and subscriptions during the pre-show. I think that's safe to say. Because
people realize that we get into topics and we can't pay attention.
Exactly, yeah. It's the downtime. It's the time where both you and I are just constantly staring at chat. We're just trying to, bump around, make sure things are going well, make sure we're having a good time, make sure everything's working, and we can move on to the more important stuff. Clack Cat hoodies, absolutely. Yep. Clavier, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a sub, and yeah, we're loving them. This is
absolutely, yeah. I wear mine all the time. I've been wearing it to and from work this week because it's been freezing cold. So,
yep.
Yeah. Switch Keys, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Thank you, Steph. Appreciate that.
Yep. As well as Cheese17 with the 10 bits. Thank you so much.
Oh, he did it twice. He did it twice.
20,
two sets of 10 bits. Yeah, 20 bits. Thank you. Yeah. Train as well with the 2-month subscription. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Nice. Oh, we're almost through level 3 here, guys. We've got just over a minute and a half left to get through level 3 and into level 4. So let's see. Is this
gonna be like a new thing where we try to make it to level 5 during every pre-show?
Maybe if it comes up. Hey, why not?
Does that seem greedy at all? That seems a little greedy. I don't know.
It's hype though. Build the hype for the stream.
True.
It gets us going. How much fun was it last week when it kept jumping up? It was really fun.
I didn't mean to say that I'm not greedy. I just mean to say it seems greedy. Also, very meta that Train subscribed at tier 1 during the hype train.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, meta. Yeah, as you say. Mounted Blocks with 1,111 bits there, but taking us straight through into tier 4. Thank you very much for that. I got a notification actually that a parcel from you, Mountain Block, is at my local post office, so I don't have it today. But
I got a package from him just the other day. We'll talk about that during the mail call too.
Ooh, yeah. Teal Technic with the 100 bits. J-Shuff with the 500 bits or greed. Thank you very much for that.
Heck yeah! All right, we're well into level 4 hype train already. Very, very nice. Thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely. Clavier says, Top Clack, have you guys seen the new Linus Tech Tips video? I have. I watched it earlier. It was interesting.
Yep, I watched it when I woke up. Okay, so little preface. I used to be a really big Linus Tech Tip fan back when I was in the PC community, a little bit before I got into keyboards more than anything else. And I was really big into PCs, built a lot of them. I watched a lot of Linus Tech Tips and related content. But then I kind of just stopped. I didn't really enjoy the content as much as I used to. It felt a little bit more half-assed, and it felt like he didn't really care as much. So I kind of
cheesy,
a little cheesy. I mean, I don't mind a little cheesy. That was always kind of like their style, anyways. But I don't know.
Sure.
I feel like it just doesn't have the same heart that LTT used to. But it was really, really cool. seeing Dixie Mech's board, the Bower, on an LTT video. So, regardless of whether, you think Linus is a keyboard enthusiast or you make fun of him because he's kind of not.
Did you see when he got the Bower and he was like this on the table with it bang, bang, bang? I was like, oh!
Yeah. The Bowhammer, come on.
Yeah, the Bowhammer. Yeah.
The Bowhammer. That's what I've been calling it. But, I don't know. I thought the video was fine. It was kind of cheesy, putting, all these metal caps on the keyboard. Like, it's kind of cringe in a way, but there is a sense of awesomeness knowing that, like, a Dixie Mech board is on the Linus Tech Tips video. And he used caps made by Salvin from our community. Like, it was really kind of cool to see that level of exposure for things from our community, even if it wasn't necessarily in the way that, a lot of us would like to see ideally.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Completely appreciate and agree with that sentiment. I think, I think he doesn't have as you said, the right appreciation for the level of detail that we look for in the community, and that probably takes away from a little bit. But the good thing is it will bring more people into the community because they'll realize that there is super high-end products out there, and it'll bring them into that whole kind of custom community. So good. It might be cheesy to us because we're involved in it and things like that, but it's good for the overarching community as a whole. Anyway.
I agree.
Huey, thank you very much for the 500 bits there. Really appreciate that. A18 as well, 5 gift subs, which took us into level 5. Ewok sent 4 bits. Eskimojo gave a gift sub as well. There was some more bits from Ches, so thank you very much for that, Ches.
I think it's cheese. I think it's cheese.
Oh, is it cheese?
Now that I look at it more,
there's 2 E's. Yeah. Cheese, yeah, there's 2 E's. You're right, absolutely right, yeah. So we're now halfway into level 5 with 3 minutes left. Come on, guys, we can do this. 100 bits from Nebulant saying LTT is a big dummy. Maybe, but
I don't know if he's a big dummy.
Fine.
I think I don't know. I've spoke to a lot of I spoke to a couple journalists that have worked directly with him, like for products, people that have worked for like other tech companies and stuff like that, and they've said a couple pretty unsavory things about like the way that he does reviews and how he kind of has had situations where he. I'm trying to say this in a nice way, but it's kind of hard. But where like you basically just lie about reviews for money. So like I don't know exactly what's true and what's not. But when I did hear that, I did kind of lose a little bit of respect for him. But I don't know. I spent so much time watching Linus, so many years, so many videos that, I mean, I was always there, but I'm not anymore.
Fair enough. I don't think it needs to be any fairer than that. Julum sends 500 bits as well. Where else did we get to? PMSing Chicken 100 bits and Melodet 100 bits as well. Dixie says today's been crazy good. I bet it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is the Royal says, where is the hype train going? To the hype station, says Depleted Vespine. So yeah, to the hype station.
Yeah, I think level 5 is the last level. So if we don't need to reach 100% on this, but obviously it's always cool.
It would be nice.
We're still going to start the show in a minute anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
yeah, 300 bits again from PMSing Chicken. Thank you very much for that, dude. Thank you.
Wins the Top Clack LTT crossover. I emailed Luke to get him on the show one time, like a year and a half ago, and I never got a reply. So I don't know. If someone has some kind of contact with Linus Tech Tips, I would love to, at the very least, get him on for like an interview or something.
Yeah, they do have a link to us because they've actually got one of my Hyper 7 boards. I can't remember which one of them it was, but one of them reached out and asked for a Hyper 7 board. I have no idea if they actually ever featured it or anything, or ever used it for anything, because I don't really watch LTT. But yeah, they reached out and I sent them one. Yeah, that was 2018, summer 2018, I think, maybe August 2018. So I have no idea if it's ever been on the show, but yeah, they have got one.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Straight Classy, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Very, very nice. And PMSing Chicken with another 100. Everyone's going crazy on the bits today.
Oh, thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.
Is the hype train still...
20 seconds.
People are still donating, but the hype train's like been locked at 37% for a while. Maybe it's like delayed or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
10 seconds left anyway, so
we should
probably...
Well
done, guys.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
We almost got there. But we appreciate all of it, guys. We should probably start the show for real now, so that way we don't. It doesn't just seem like we're waiting just for the hype train to finish. because that would be bad. All right, guys. 1 second. We'll roll the intro here, then we're gonna get right into it. So far in. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Top Clack. I'm your host, Quakeums, joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Jay. And believe it or not, we're going to talk to you about some keyboard news today, as well as some other things. So, strap yourselves in and make sure you have a frosty beverage, maybe a snack. Maybe you got your pet to give some head pats to. And, yeah, let's talk about some keyboards, guys. Jay, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks. Really good. Looking forward to the weekend. Looking forward to having some fun. There is a UK meetup tomorrow, so maybe I'll be attending that. Maybe I won't. Who knows? So yeah, looking forward to that and looking forward to the show. It actually might be quite a quick show tonight. Actually, looking at the length of the news doc, we might not be on air for too long.
Don't say that. Don't say that, because every time we say that. We can have like 2 topics on our news doc and it'll still be a 3-hour show, like every time.
Yeah.
It never fails. I don't understand why, but
do you know why? Because I find something interesting for a split second, and instead of saying one sentence on it, I end up talking about it for 20 minutes. That's what happens usually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My excuse is that we are passionate in this hobby, Jay. We are passionate keyboard enthusiasts, and sometimes we like to talk about that.
Yeah, we like to share the passion, spread the love all over the things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jay loves spreading, particularly love on things. Yeah. El Pepe says, "Show me keyboards." I have a keyboard right here. I have one right on my desk. This is, in fact, a real life keyboard.
Wow. Do you know what I can do as well, Brian? I can actually show a real life keyboard too. Look.
Oh my!
This one's even got nudes.
That one has more buttons than my keyboard.
Wait,
Jay.
actually, Brian, can I just say something? I can make you feel really jealous now. What's this at this side?
There seems to be kind of like a cluster of keys, maybe of numeric value.
Yep. And if I do that,
oh my! I gotta go, Jay. This is I can't anymore. This is
pure bullying.
This is it. This has been great. Thank you so much for all of you guys tuning in. We gotta pack it up. This is over for now. But realistically, let's get right into a mail call, as is tradition. Then we will roll into our news doc, which is going to be, as Jay mentioned, not terribly long today, or at least that's how we expect it to be. But we'll see. So. What did we get in the mail call today, Jay? What did you get? Your list
so
looks
I got
kind
a few
of long.
Things this week. It's not that long. I got my rain. So my rain came in, which is in this lovely copper gold colour. So I'll be building this on stream in a couple of weeks. I have got a special project planned for this. This is going to be. It's going to look very different when it's finally built. I'll be honest. So I've got something going for that. So that's the first thing that came this week. I also have a vintage set of keycaps here. So these are a full ISO keycap set, but if you look closely, they've actually got all of the Cyrillic legends on. Now these are pad printed double shot Cyrillic keys. They're not the ones that are PBT dice up. So these are quite rare. This is the only version of this set I've ever seen. It's a little bit yellow, but I'm going to try and clean those up as much as I can. So I'm really excited about using those. And then I've actually got a mystery key set here. Now, I'm not actually sure what this is. I was going to open it live on the show today. Now, as you can see, it's fully sealed on both sides. I haven't actually unwrapped it yet. I can't remember what the set is. So I was going to do that live on the show in a second. The only other thing I've got this week as well is a Tuck EP cap. So I've got a nice little artisan, which I haven't opened yet either, which came through. That's really sweet, actually. It's nice, this little blue flower. It's really sweet.
That's cute.
I'm hoping that'll go with GMK Fuyu. But I'm going to open this GMK set and see what it actually is. I think it's the one that came from Drop, but the wife opened it and I don't have the box or anything else, so I haven't looked at it.
It did have an originative logo on it.
It does have an originative logo.
So it's got to be one of the 40 iterations of GMK Hyperfuse.
GMK Hyperfuse. Okay, interesting.
Show me Wasabi. Oh, I don't know what that is. Classic retro.
Classic retro. Yeah.
Okay.
GMK classic retro. Do you know what the best part about this set is though? It's the pad printed multicolored Windows keys.
Oh,
Look how
the
cool
Windows 90, is that the Win 95 logo?
Yeah, how cool is that? I really like that.
I've always liked that logo a lot, and I like it when it's colored too. That's a good one.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, looking forward to using it. Cool.
Awesome.
I think that's it. I think that's everything I got.
Okay, well, my week wasn't quite as intense. I got one thing, and I didn't really think about it before the show. I am wearing it, but I'm not stripping, I promise, guys. And I know you all want me to.
Terms of service, Brian. Terms of service.
Terms of service. So I did get this shirt in as well, courtesy of Mountain Blocks.
Nice.
This is the Mountain Blocks X Top Clack. Do the thing, click the button, send the money T-shirt, and it's got that nice little keycap on it right there that has both the
pound and the
British pound sterling symbol or whatever, and as well as the USD. So that's really cool. And
nice.
just like his previous works, the shirt is immensely comfy. It's just like the Dult shirt, so it's very light, very soft. Kind of gets some nice flow in there while you're moving. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, I did get a card through this morning through the post that said that there's something that I have to pay the customs fee and go and collect. So I'm probably going to go and collect that in the morning. I think that's the shirts from Mountain Blocks. So
probably.
Thank you very much, Mountain Blocks, for making those shirts with my little catchphrase on. Yeah, it's cute.
As Jay so has infamously made. You gotta do the things. You gotta click the button and you gotta send the money.
Send the money. Yeah, I've only ever said it once though, and it was in relation to the JO1 raffle.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
it was JO1 raffle. Yeah, I was like, do the thing, click the button, send the money. Yeah, trying to. And of course we did raise thousands upon thousands of pounds. So I actually finally got the funds from Mike this week. Just to give a bit of an update on this. So I'm busy this weekend and next weekend, but I think the weekend after that I'm going to go to the Sue Ryder charity. We're going to do the whole big check thing. I'm going to have one printed up. We're going to take pictures. I'm going to make a short video, maybe 2 minutes long, just one of those the start of my day, my serial, getting in the car, driving off type videos, and do a bit of a chat about how we get there and what the charity does and all that kind of stuff. So that will be made and sorted sometime in February, but early Feb is when I'll be dropping off the funds to them as well. So I'm really excited about that. It's a lot of money, a huge amount of money. It's going to really help some people. So,
that's going to be awesome. I'm really excited for that vlog if you do wind up doing that, which I do hope you do.
Yeah. As I say, I'll probably do it as a video log. I might do some bits of it live, but I'll try and record all the video. And I'll do one of those things where you can see me at weird angles getting in the car and all that kind of stuff, and that people find quite fun today. And we'll have my version of the jail there, and we'll have the big check, and we'll do the whole good thing, and shaking hands, handing over cash, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that. So yeah, I'm totally psyched for that, and still super proud of the community being able to help in the way that they did. 2,500 raffle tickets at $5 a piece is no small feat.
It was insane.
I was expecting 200-300 at the most. If that. And
yeah, you guys all really showed up on that one. It was definitely one of those defining moments in the hobby where you're actually part of something special, part of something that actually cares, that gives a damn about other people.
Yeah,
it was very, very heartwarming. And on a related note, Gio's asking, where do you buy big checks? Because it'd be kind of cool to fill out a big check and be like, unofficially from the keyboard community or something like that.
Yeah, so I was interested in this, and I actually asked the charity when I was speaking to them on the phone and saying, right, okay, we've raised this money for you. I'm going to come down. We're going to do some little bits of promotion videos and stuff like that, so everyone can see what we've done and be proud of themselves and all of that kind of stuff. And I asked them about, do I need to get a big check made up, and if so, can you tell me where to get one? They already have that. The most of these charities, and I think this is the same all over the world, they have these big checks, and they can just quite quickly print stuff onto them that's wipeable off, so they can print onto it all like on sticky. I think it's on like a clear sticky tape that they just pull off afterwards, so they can put stuff on there and take the pictures and do all the kind of stuff. So you don't actually have to go and have one made up and spend money on it. They actually have all this already for that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. And apparently for everyone else, there's bigchecks.co.uk, according to Mountain Block.
Oh, interesting. That's the UK website as well. Interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need big checks. Bigchecks.co.uk. Sponsorship. Come on, send it in.
Yes.
Kidding.
Sponsor me for a big check. I'll pin that Mountain Blocks and I'll have a look at them tomorrow. But Sue Ryder have all of their own stuff like that, and they have their own PR department and things to try and help raise funds anyway. So they have this kind of thing on hand, and I'm really looking forward to do it. There is the other final JO1 board that I'll raffle off to the high bidder. I'm probably going to open it for 24 hours, most likely early next week. I was going to do it this week, but I never got round to it with work and everything else. So so I'm probably going to open that up. I'm not expecting that to make huge amounts of money, and I'm not expecting to have a ton of entries, but that will all get added onto that value as well and go with the check. So yeah.
Very nice. Cool. Good to see an update on that, and we definitely look forward to seeing the final, the most important update on that as well, is actually getting the money to them, of course.
Yeah, with the pictures, right? Yeah. Do you know what the hardest part was? It was finding the most tax efficient and the exchange rate efficient way to get the money from Mike to me. It took us, both of us spent days researching and working and waiting for the best exchange rates and things like that. There was quite a lot of work went into that kind of stuff as well. So so if you ever need to do it, guys, think about that in advance and try and plan it in advance.
Yeah, definitely. Slippery Pete says he donates 69 bits. Thank you for that, by the way. Very nice. And he says, I'm just here to say that I'm watching from the shower.
Ooh,
that is
interesting.
That is a great place. I don't remember who it is, but someone always apparently like instead of the Discord, they always like take a bath in the morning for like 3 hours. And like that's their Top Clack time on like Fridays or whatever. Is it just like take a 3-hour bath and they watch Top Clack, and I'm like, that's pretty awesome.
It's cool, yeah, but wow, interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting. Anyways, let's talk about some keyboards. We've been doing a little bit of rambling, but let's move into our news doc. We don't have any pressing announcements today. So yeah, let's just roll on to the news doc here, and let's talk about some keyboards and keyboard accessories, as the cool kids say.
Excellent.
Quick shout out to a couple donations that we missed. Fatboy Carney did sub at tier 1. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Petrov has resubbed at tier 2 on a 15-month streak, so thank you so much for that. It says 15 months of man-sized love. And then he also donates 1,469 bits. So thank you so much for that, guys.
Wow, thank you guys. Just before we start, Gio says, when is the auction again for the JO1? So the high bid board is going to go up for, I think I'll open it for a 24-hour period, probably on Monday. I'll put an announcement up on Geekak and Reddit. As I say, I'm not expecting loads of people to join because there's a lot of other group buys going on. There's JO2 starting in Feb and everything else. But yeah, if we can raise a little bit more money through that way, that'd be great as well. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, let's talk about some news, for which there is not a whole lot over the last week, in keyboards particularly, but I did see this interest check, which did catch my eye, which is the interest check for the Prime_Elise. If you guys remember, it was only, I don't know, probably 6, 7, 8, maybe more months ago, I guess now, since I like to lose track of time. The Prime E launched by Prime Keyboards, and that was effectively a kind of, I don't know, an Alice-like 40%.
An Alice style 40%.
Style 40%, yeah. It was kind of the ergo, not necessarily split, but it is kind of an ergonomic style of layout that is very similar to the Alice style. And so the Prime E was somewhat successful, but apparently this person had the idea for a completely different case, although using the exact same PCBs. So this is kind of like an alternative to the Prime E in the Prime Elise. So we don't have a ton of specs on it, unfortunately, which you think you'd have in an interest check this long. But we do have a couple things that we do know. We got a lot of renders here. This designer did want something a little bit more akin to the Alice. So something that, the Prime E was kind of mostly a one-piece design, had a thick integrated plate, and didn't really have the exact kind of looks that an Alice would have, but this one is a little bit more closer to that. But he does have a few small differences here, including the plate mounting method here. So originally, obviously, like I mentioned, integrated thick plate for the Prime E, but the Prime Elise has a 6-point bottom mounted plate, So a little bit different there. Then it kind of has this top shell that goes over the top of it to enclose all of it. So kind of interesting. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I think I like the styling on this a little bit more than on the Prime E. The Prime E was really nice, and I actually got to see one quite recently, and I was kind of gutted I never bought one, to be honest. So now that something that's very similar has come up, I'm definitely interested to support it. A couple of interesting points to note: that Holton, who made the Prime E, has fully supported this project. It seems like he's quite open to other designers coming up with third-party cases and things like that. So that's good to see. But yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Up to between 75 and 100 units, if the demand's there, is where the group buy is looking. But yeah, I kind of like this. I like the layout. I like the LEDs on the top right hand side. I think I prefer them there to the Alice style LEDs. I think they make more sense there. I like the way the bottom's shaped. I think that's quite nice. It's nice and yeah, it's just a nice, simple looking board. Yeah. I think even the weight design is quite nice as well, to be honest. Or not the weight, sorry, the base accent logo, sorry, design is quite nice as well.
Yeah, so the original Prime E was a nice board. Holton sent me one. I got to I streamed a short build of it. We played around with it, tested some switches, some acoustics and stuff. It was a good time. Not a particularly exciting board, if I'm being honest. It was kind of cool, it was kind of fun, but wasn't necessarily mind-blowing by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel like this is kind of a take on it that feels a little bit more elevated, a little bit more upscale, whereas the Prime E felt maybe a little bit more mundane in comparison. So I still like the Prime E, but I think the Prime Elise is maybe a little bit more, I don't know, I hate to use the term high-end, but I don't think I can get away from it here. It does feel a little bit more high end.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more premium. Yeah, I guess I get that.
Yeah,
kind of sentiment
exactly.
from it. Yeah, there's a couple of things that I probably would think about differently. So when you look at the base piece, the bump-ons look huge. Now I know this is 40%, so any bump-on's going to look huge on it. But the rounded inserts for the bump-ons look massive in comparison to the board. But I do really like the logo. So the whole kind of box that's upside down, the Elise logo, I kind of like that. I think that looks well. It would work really well for infilling if you were into that kind of thing. I think it would look great with a nice little bit of infill on there.
Yeah.
I'm really into this. I think it looks great. And what I really do like about this is the two-tone version that's shown where the bottom half's grey and the top half's kind of like a white silvery colour. I think that looks really slick. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, not too bad. So you're going to have a couple different color options here. Not very many, though. As of right now, it looks like you're going to be able to get this kind of black-gray color, which I'm assuming is the bottom color in that picture. And then
I think so, yeah.
You're also going to be able to get a rose gold color, which has not been finalized yet. And then you're also going to be able to get a clear coat if you want something more of like a natural aluminum kind of finish. So very limited on the color options of this, but like I mentioned before, it does also use the same PCBs, regardless of iteration, it seems, as the Prime E. So I do believe those are still available at Prime KB, and maybe they'll even ship with this particular housing. So I don't know, pretty cool, fun little project at the very least.
Yeah, nice little travel board maybe for someone. Yeah, I think this is great. I definitely want to try and jump on this. I didn't see anything about price on this one. I don't know if you noticed the price on it. I was looking through, but I couldn't see anything on it.
I tried to find it, but I wound up just kind of estimating anyways. I don't remember how much the Prime E was. I imagine this is going to be a little bit more expensive, but I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how much the Prime E was, but I don't know, if we had to guess, how much would you think this would be? This is probably a $300+ board, I imagine.
Yeah, I think when you consider just some of the design aspects of it and how it's going to take to machine and things, and there is the whole what he's calling squircles, which are the square circular corners, which are kind of rounded in a different way to how we usually see in the community. I suspect that that's probably going to add to the price a little bit. Yeah, I'd probably imagine 325, 350 region sort of thing for this. It depends on margins and how many cells, I guess, but maybe somewhere in that kind of price range. But yeah, I think anything under like 375 is fine for something like this for me. I think that kind of price is probably the upper limit of where I'd want to be. But for just the base kit, I mean. But yeah, 325, 350. Yeah, I'm probably going to definitely buy one at that price.
Yeah, Jax is saying Prime E was like $400 and made in Korea, he thinks. So I don't know. Interesting. I didn't realize it was that expensive. I could have swore that the Prime E was cheaper than that, but I could be very wrong.
The Prime E had the thick plate though, didn't it, as well, which is a lot more expensive.
It was the thick integrated plate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I suppose. All right, so there you go. If you didn't really care for the Prime E, but you liked that layout a lot, then maybe this could be right up your alley if you're looking for something a little bit more premium in that particular realm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prototypes are on the way, apparently.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of seeing prototypes before joining group buy. That's definitely something I like to see. So yeah, definitely interested to see how that comes out.
Cool. All right. Well,
okay. Any other keyboard news?
Let's move over to key sets instead. Jay, how about that?
Yeah, sure. Why
so
not?
let's just I didn't really find a whole lot of keyboard news this week. So as far as key set news goes, there is a couple of interesting things, to say the least. So over on KBDfans, a lot of people might have seen this already. EnjoyPBT Venice Doubleshot ABS keycap set. So for those of you that maybe don't understand why this seems significant at all, it's because EnjoyPBT typically, from what we've seen in the past, only does PBT keycaps, and historically, as far as I'm aware, they've only done die sub. They've never done Doubleshot.
Yes.
So
correct, yeah.
this is a very, very new thing to them. So Doubleshot ABS keycaps, they're trying to compete with JTK and GMK now, potentially on that front, which is kind of interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the colorway itself, which I think is pretty bad.
Well, I wouldn't say it's bad. It's kind of a mix on GMK SoWare, right? There's kind of the alphas from SoWare or SA Chronicler. It's got that kind of look with just some orange modded legends. I think it's fine.
Yeah, except Chronicler was a failure, and Soare wasn't terribly popular on its own either. Just to point that out for each. But I get you. It's not a particularly bad colorway. You're right. I am being overly mean here. I don't think it looks particularly good. I think the contrast looks quite off. I
suspect the legibility will be better in real life than it is in these pictures. I suspect it won't be as bad as the SA Chronicler set, being able to see it. But I know people who like the SA Chronicler set because of the reduced contrast. They like it because of that, not in spite of it.
That's
because of it.
Fair.
So,
yeah. Okay.
There are people that this will appeal to. So I don't think this is terrible as a colorway. It's probably not something that I would pick if I was picking stuff. But I don't think it's terrible.
Nebula really wants me to fight you on this because he truly believes this colorway is terrible.
Fair enough.
Jax and Gio also think this is terrible.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's top tier. I'm not saying it's going to be the next key set that sells 1 million. I just don't think it's like so bad that it needs a negative score or anything like that.
No,
it's just meh. It's just okay, right?
I'm gonna meet you in the middle, Jay. I will give you it's forgettable. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Can we agree it's at best a forgettable key set in terms of colorway? It's a forgettable
key set, which means that it's just fine overall. Fine is probably okay. Is probably a good way of describing it. Those two kind of words would describe it well. It's not a good key set. It's not a particularly bad one. It's fine, right?
I love Twitch chat. You guys are amazing. I'm
not reading it.
All right. Well, thankfully I have been. But anyways, colorway opinions aside, let's talk about why this set is important, which is the fact that it is an EnjoyPBT set and it is Doubleshot ABS, which we have never seen before. Except there's going to be like one set in the past someone's going to correct me on that nobody's ever heard of or seen.
Yeah, I've not seen one
in before. That always happens to me. But as far as I'm aware, very first Doubleshot ABS set coming out of EnjoyPBT. So, I mean, what do you think we can expect from this, Jay? Do you think this is going to be like a pile of trash? Do you think this is going to be a competition?
I expect that this is probably not going to be competing with GMK. It's probably going to be somewhere in line with where JTK was maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago when they had problems with the molds. I suspect it's going to be somewhere around that kind of place. If you look at a lot of the legends on here, so there's a close-up showing the home row, and you can see the R key, and on the downward leg of the R, you can see that it's not quite formed correctly. It's not quite come through correctly. And that's just one inconsistency in the set. There's quite a few others. Now, what is really, really interesting as well is they actually look like they're using a really, really modern double shotting process. So compared to GMK that use a decades-old process that's been around since the 70s and 80s, the actual way the molds are implemented on this, there's one shot showing the keycaps from upside down. You can see that they're actually using a really new, modern way, very similar to how Tai-How do their double shotting, where you actually have tabs that hold into the cruciforms on the underside of the keycaps. So it's a really new, modern way of doing it. It looks probably nicer on the underside of the keycaps than what a lot of GMK ones do. If you look at the GMK ones, they're kind of all over the place on the internal.
It's kind of ugly.
Yeah. And that's just because it's an old way of doing double shot. That's just literally how times have changed. So these do look a little bit neater than that, but I suspect we're going to have problems with the legends, because I don't think the way that the keycaps are then polished on top to reveal the legends are probably done in as professional way, and probably have as high QC as what GMK does. So I think these will be on par with JTK where they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, so I completely agree. I think these probably will wind up being a competitor to JTK at the moment. I too notice some of the legend inconsistencies there as well, but overall, it doesn't look that bad when you consider the price. Only $69 here, and here's your base kit, which is not amazing, but it's honestly not that bad. You get all the basic space bars you need. You get a 6U, a 6.25U, and a 7U. You even get a 3U because people in the East like the Philco Manila, I think is what it is, which is probably why they include that. Which is a pretty obscure board out here. Nobody really in the West uses those very much. But then you get lots of spacebar support, all things considered. You get, look at all these shift keys you get. That's quite a few. You get ISO enter.
You get ISO coverage.
You get basic ISO coverage.
Yeah.
You get some cherry novelties there. You get a little heart novelty. I don't really understand why this is there, but you get that novelty as well. So you can do HHKB, you can do Sangon.
Just in the base kit.
Yeah, I don't think there's a split backspace. There's not a 1.5U backspace that I can see. I mean, you can still do the layout; it just won't be proper. Limited compatibility, but there is still a decent amount of stuff there when you consider that it costs less than $70, which is not that much more than half the price of a lot of GMK sets, and is the price of half the price of a lot of GMK sets these days. So this could be a pretty good entry-level option. I think we're gonna have to grab a set of this just to compare quality.
Yeah, I think we should definitely take a look at this and see whether it is any good overall. I think definitely pick up a set and try it out and compare and contrast it to other sets on the market. I think we're both pretty much on the mark of where it's going to be in terms of quality. I think we're not going to be a million miles away. I think it's pretty much going to be in that sort of region, that sort of frame. Now, JTK has improved significantly over the years, so it'd be interesting to see whether this comes out at current JTK levels or old JTK levels, and compare it to that as well. But this could be a new opportunity for us to provide cheaper keycaps in better colorways. Instead of having to buy a GMK set, for example, to get the colorway you want, perhaps this is another opportunity to run colorways at a more basic price for newcomers to the hobby, people who don't have as much disposable income, and those that just don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on plastic keys for a keyboard.
Yeah. Does Keycap do Doubleshot ABS right now? I know they do. So. I know they do ABS keycaps in Cherry Profile. I don't know if they do Doubleshot ABS keycaps.
But they only do pad printed, if I remember rightly.
How cool would it be if we had 4 Doubleshot ABS keycap makers in the community? GMK, JTK, EnjoyPBT, and Keycap. How cool would it be if we had 4 options?
You mean for Cherry Profile?
For Cherry Profile Doubleshot ABS keycaps. Wouldn't it be cool to not just have to default to GMK all the time because they're the best?
It would be. Yeah, it'd be amazing. Yeah, I think Novelkeys are doing a or a Cherry Profile keycap set as well. I think they're developing that. I know they do SA at the minute, but I'm pretty sure I've read that they're doing a Cherry Profile as well.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. GMK is my current favorite. It's king in terms of like overall quality in this particular arena, but God, let's get some competition out there, because competition is only ever good for consumers. It's going to give you accessibility. It's going to give you options, and if things go well, could even drive prices down for everyone. So this could be the beginning of something cool. I'm excited to see this. So bad colorway aside, I don't care what you think, Jay. I think this key set looks pretty interesting and pretty attractive at $69. I'm definitely going to reach out to Wei. I'm going to ask him if he'll send me one. He's probably going to say yes, but in the off chance he says no, I'll probably buy one anyways. And
Let's ask him first. And
we got to check this out. This is important. We have to check this out. This is important. Yeah. So regardless, this is pretty cool. I wonder if these. It doesn't actually say. I wonder if these are 1.5 millimeter. I assume they are, just like the other EnjoyPBT caps. But it would be nice to know, because I know for Key Rated, for example, for their ABS, they do 1.3 millimeter, I believe.
Yeah, it is 1.3 millimeter. Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. I guess that's the.
I believe these are in stock. I looked all over the page. I don't think this is a group buy. I'm pretty sure this is actually in stock. This is a real picture. This is not a render. So
yeah, they're ready to go from what I understand. But obviously with Chinese New Year, they might take a little while to ship.
Yeah.
So we just need to understand that. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna try to get in a set of this as fast as I can. I will have thoughts and opinions on it. I will at the very least do some kind of quick write up about it, if not more. So yep. Look forward to that because I am interested.
Absolutely. Okay. Moving on to something that we do know a little bit more about. This is GMK Demon Sword, which is a new key set from Raravin. So again, I'm gonna have to lean away from being able to come close to the source material for this, but this is based on, I'm gonna butcher the name, but Ayanami, which is a character from Azur Lane, right?
Yes. So I am generally the resident weeb. I am generally the key set anime person. That tries to put two and two together. But I've never heard of this. I've never played the game. So this source material is a little lost on me. But yeah. Ayanami, Azur Lane. I think you got it right, Jay. I think you got it right. Anyways, let's talk about the key set itself. So on this first render, I'm going to open it up. What do you guys think? Does this look like any other key set?
It looks like two other key sets.
To me, it looks like two key sets. Are the key sets Royal Navy and Rudy?
Yeah, GMK Royal Navy and GMK Rudy. Absolutely, those
for
two,
someone that's colorblind like me, that often gets sets confused with other sets. I looked at this, and those were the only two things I could think of, and it looked like a lot of people were echoing very similar thoughts. So yeah, I really do feel like, even to my colorblind eyes, this is way too close. And I know we've had conversations lately on the show and off the show about how it's almost impossible. It's getting to the point where it's almost impossible to design a key set that isn't at least kind of reminiscent of another key set in some way.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to do that now, and it's kind of being forgiven if you're kind of in that gray area, but this, to me, is a little bit too far. This looks too much like Royal Navy and Rudy, and it needs to change.
I think it looks like someone's taken the Rudy and then added the red accents from Royal Navy and then just kind of washed it with weebness and put it through the weeb washing machine or something like that and come out with all of the Hiragana legends or whatever they are. I think it looks okay as it stands on its own. I'm never usually a fan of those sub-legends. It's very few and far between sets where I like them. There's only been a couple. Fuyu is one example because I think it works with pale blue. I don't think it works with darker legends like in this Keycap set. I'm also not a fan of the red keys with the blue legends on that you can see when you take a look at the base kit. With that being said, the base kit kind of covers pretty much everything. It's got options for all of your multiple enters in different colors, including ISO. You've got your 65% HHKB support. You've got numpad. You've got Sangan bottom row. You've got pretty much everything you could possibly want in there. I just really dislike those red keys with the blue legends. I'm just not a fan of those at all. I think the legend's too dark for the red. I don't think it works. It looks weird and washed out in my head. But the white ones with the red legends are quite crisp. But then it is just GMK Royal Navy, or you could even look at it as the original version of GMK Rocket before the colours were changed to stock ones. You know, there's a couple of different things you can see it as in there.
Yeah, Zerpocalypse in chat saying we're definitely too harsh, and that the RAL colors are not even remotely close, apparently, according to him. I am strictly basing this off the pictures that I've seen in the interest check. I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't gone back to Royal Navy and compared the covers, or Rudy and compared the colors. It was more just I opened the thread, I look at this very first picture, the intro picture of the IC, and to me it just looks like those sets. It really does, and I could be wrong. And these are just my eyes, so I'm not going to speak for everyone, but to me, this does look very close. Am I being too harsh? Potentially. Maybe it's just really hard to make a red, white, and blue key set because so many of them have already been made.
Yeah, this is just GMK Maga with a Weeb Legends on me.
Yeah, which is just GMK Rocket also. So I don't know. I don't know.
Whoa. Rocket came after.
I'm more or less kidding. I mean, I get that okay. Is it exactly the same as Royal Navy or Rudy or another set? Probably not. Probably not. Let's be real. But to me, it looks really close, and it could just be the renders. Maybe it's just the renders. Maybe the actual set in person will look very, very different, and I am completely stupid here.
It could do well. I don't think it's stupid. I think I agree. Now, what does set this set apart, and I think looks quite good, are the novelty set. So the fact that they've got all of these different novelties, you can see, even to my untrained anime eye, I can see the inspiration for all of the swords and everything else. I can see how that relates back to the source material. And I quite often struggle with the novelties in these sets, but I actually quite like these ones. I think these are really good. They set the sets apart for me. They look crisp. They look good. Again, I'm still not a fan of the blue legends on the red caps, but I think the blue and the white and the red and the white caps look great. And even if I didn't buy the key set, I would potentially buy that novelties pack because I really like some of those. Especially, I don't know what this is, but especially that circular logo, I really like that one. I don't know what it is, but something in my primeval brain says yes, that's a nice logo. So
yeah no, I think the novelties are actually pretty solid. They seem relevant. I do like the colorway, just in the same way that I liked Royal Navy and Rudy and stuff like that. So like they make me feel the same way, but I do like the colorway. I think it looks pretty nice. I like that they have this kind of this oath set too, that has the white on red alphas. I think that looks pretty good as well. Are there any more renders
it
of
does,
that?
yeah.
Probably are. Right?
I didn't see one with that.
I looked through earlier, but yeah, I didn't see any with the red alphas, unfortunately.
It would be really nice to see with the red alphas on the board. That being said, as you say, I think this looks fine. I really dislike those blue legends on the red keys. I keep talking about it because it really frustrates me, but I do really like the rest of the set. Now, what I do actually prefer is the set that you can see on the renders within Brahma's Koyu, where it doesn't have the sub legends on there. It's just got the standard GMK legends. I actually really quite like the set there. Even if it didn't look like other things, I think on its own merit, it looks good in those renders. And I think the sub legends detract from that viewpoint for me. I dislike it. I dislike it with the sub legends, and I like it without. Yeah. Without trying to get too.
Without getting chat too riled up here, you know what I think should be done here, that Dixie often does in all of his threads, which I think is absolutely brilliant, is if people are saying your set in interest check looks like set X or Y or another set, whatever, do an actual comparison of the exact colors side by side. That way people can see the differences. Like Dixie Mech does that a lot of his key set interest checks, and it's amazing because it really does feel like it starts to set things apart, even if things are kind of close. So maybe it's just a placebo effect for me because I don't have the exact colors of Royal Navy side by side with the exact colors of this and Rudy and other sets or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that's a really good way to actually show that. So you can just be like, hey, these are obviously very different colors. Here's a picture side by side with all the colors involved.
Yeah, that could be. There's Apocalypse is saying they've done the comparison in Discords. Yeah, but that's not in the interest check. Discords
that doesn't. Yeah, you can't.
An ongoing conversation. They're not a forum where things are posted and there for people to see and come back to. Discord's a live chat update effectively. So I think to have stuff in the interest check is where it should be. So if they've done those comparisons, it should be dead easy to paste them into this. It shouldn't be difficult.
Yeah, exactly. All the more reason to paste it into here, the stationary public forum here. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I really would. I'd like to see it added to this. So that'd be great. But otherwise, I think the set looks good.
I like the set in its own merit. As I say, I do agree on it being close to other sets. So yeah, I'd like to see the comparison next to each other. But other than that, yeah, interested to see if this gets to group by. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we shall move on then to an interest check for GMK White on Black Mod Addon Kit, which I think is an interesting name for this. But yeah, if you like GMK White on Black, but you felt like you didn't have nearly enough color going on there, this could be a good option for you. So you have kind of I don't know. Would this be it's kind of like a cross between like an RGB and CMY sort of thing, I suppose.
It's exactly that, but for Legends, yeah. It's RGB CMY. It's actually very similar to the Solarized Dark colored mod kit. I think the colors are almost following in the same order. And I haven't looked this up to check, but I'm pretty sure it runs in very similar order in terms of the colors. But yeah, as you say, on standard black keycaps to match GMK White on Black. So. Yeah, add a bit of color, but in a subtle way. So you're not adding some bright colored keycaps, you're adding some colored legends instead. Maybe you just want to use one or two, maybe you want to use the whole lot, maybe you want to use it on a couple of different boards and just change your shift keys or your control keys so something stands out a little bit better. I think
what's interesting is this was a trend in the past that we saw like completely disappear. So back in like 2015, 2016, CMYK like add-on kits or RGB add-on kits were all the rage. People were just buying those, using them with like whatever set. It wasn't like a specific thing. Like you would just use them with other sets, and like that's how you got your color. And there were lots of different versions of them. GMK had different versions of them. EnjoyPBT had different versions of them. I think other manufacturers did as well. So it's kind of interesting to see. Like for me, it's kind of a blast from the past, because back when I was like a little bit newer in the community, that was what everyone did. Like everyone bought those EnjoyPBT like CMYK add-on packs. Like they weren't expensive. It was like 25 or $30, and like you just throw them on, and all of a sudden your keyboard's a freaking rainbow.
Yeah, and, I've got a couple of those old sets. The RGB ones, CMYK one. I've got a couple of them lying around. There was one called Unicorn as well, which was kind of more obtuse colors, teals and cyans and things, which was really interesting. I do spot a couple of
Unicorn. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I gave away my set of that at a meetup a couple of years ago, and I really regret giving it away now. I would love to find a set of that. I'd pay an absolute premium to get my hands on that set again. So,
an absolute premium. Nice.
I would, yeah. So if you watch, I'll get inundated with 3 offers after the show for like $1,000.
$1,000.
I don't mean that kind of premium, but I'd pay quite well to get one back.
Quite well for Unicorn is like $100. Maybe. Unicorn was never that popular.
I'd probably go a little bit higher than that. I'd probably go to like 120, 130. But yeah, like standard base kit kind of prices probably like my upper limit. But I would pay well to get one. Anyway, I do spot a couple of things with this set that I would probably look at again. So I see that there's in terms of the caps lock row. So they've got the 2-step caps lock, and they've got a control key that's a full control key. I think having a full caps lock key as well. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not. It does look like one of them is a windowed caps lock key that's stepped. So I would suggest having another caps lock key that's the full caps lock to match the control one. And I also think an R1 / pipe key is probably needed as well in the pink legend. So other than that, those are the only 2 tweaks. Because it's used quite often for split backspace.
But you always have the tilde is always the key on the end, though.
Yeah, but
what would
you see it in most base kits. It's almost in every base kit.
Who uses row 1 mod colored pipe? In chat right now, raise your hand. Row 1 mod colored pipe. How many of you use that key?
Let's see if anyone in chat asks for it.
I kind of get the idea, but like
Happa says no R1 pipe key. He said that. Anyone else talks about it? Just me and Happa then. There we go. Just us 2. Okay, there we go. just us 2. There we go.
Geo said it's not mod colored. By default, these are all supposed to be modifiers.
Sure.
These are supposed to act. This is supposed to act as a mod kit, a modifier kit.
Yes, I get that, but that's the technical correct answer. But it depends on how you use this.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture with a keyboard that uses row 1 mod colored pipe.
It's not it's a monotone set though that it goes with. I think that's the difference.
But it being colored,
white on black.
Yeah, but it would still be, as an alpha, you would have it alpha colored, wouldn't you? Like it would be a white legend cap.
Yeah, but if I was going to use it, I would do split backspace because I do ISO HHKB, obviously, which is a little bit different. And if I was going to do split backspace, I would use the tilde key and the R1 pipe key up there. That's what I use. Any set that I do.
Yeah. So color wise, you act as if both of those are modifiers.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I've never seen a picture where someone uses. I mean, I see the mod colored tilde for symmetry all the time, obviously for HHKB stuff, but I've never seen the pipe mod colored actually get used.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, there we go.
All right. I'm just crazy. Yes.
I think it's maybe just me that's the little bit different to other folks, but I do think that definitely the caps lock position should be looked at because that one caps lock key would make a bit of a difference.
There's actually an update section towards the bottom of the thread, and that's one of the things.
Oh, is there?
He's considering adding non-stepped caps there. So.
Okay, I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, to me that's a no-brainer. That needs to be there. There's no exception. There's no reason you would not have the normal caps lock key in here as well, because otherwise people that use normal caps lock key there would just use the white on black, and that would really break the color symmetry in this mod kit. So
it would.
You basically aesthetically you kind of alienate all those people that would actually use normal caps lock by doing that. So hopefully they do add that in. To me, it just kind of seems almost more like an oversight.
It probably is. It's easy to miss one key out like that when you're doing these small add-on kits as well. I completely agree. Yeah. But I do think this will sell really well. I think I'll definitely pick up one of these. I probably wouldn't use all of the keys, but I'd mix and match and use one or two and probably split it out over 2 or 3 boards with GMK white on black on. I think it looks really good. I think it's nice to see these kind of sets come back. So I know we had all of the different mod-colored sets that you talked about before, so these like mod packs almost with just modifier keys. So we had like Ceresia and things like that, which was kind of
electric like blue glue.
Yeah, blue glue. Yeah, all of those kind of things. And I think it's really nice to see these kind of mod packs coming back. Really big fan of that.
Yeah, it's really fun because you can kind of you just mix and match things, use keys wherever you want. It's a very playful kind of thing, and I do like it quite a bit. I'm not the target audience for this because I'm the type of guy that buys GMK Oblivion with the monochrome pack. And so I am very much not the kind of guy that likes all these colors on my keyboards per se, but I do think there are a lot of people that do appreciate that, and I'm glad that something like this is finally hitting the market. Again, this is not necessarily the final kitting of this, so hopefully we'll see some nice proper revisions here, and we can get a really nice kind of CMY/RGB pack for everyone. And he's looking to keep it under $50 as well, which I think is going to be really, really, really crucial. If he's able to keep it under $50, I think this is going to sell quite well.
Yeah, and Super Dodo as well. He's a really great guy. I've seen him around the community quite a lot. Really big fan of seeing him around. So yeah, absolutely excited to see this. Slippery Pete says this stream is obviously pre-recorded. Yes, this is pre-recorded. We anticipated that you would say that. We knew that it was going to be you that said that, and we built that into the recording.
That's right. Absolutely. Not live at all. We could never have problems. This is 100% produced, proper video content.
Yeah, boy.
And you're all invited along for the ride, apparently.
Absolutely.
But yeah, looks pretty good. I hope they hit that target price. Could you imagine this at like $40? I think I'd have to buy it. I don't even like it. I'm not even the target consumer for this, but I think at $40 I'd have to buy it. Just like the GMK OG space keys from Heidi Bush. Right, I don't use Split. I don't use like Alice layout, but I still bought them because they were $35.
Yeah, right. And the missing key set as well that Janik ran. Same. Yeah, had to buy it. Do you know what I would actually quite like? I would actually quite like one of these add-on kits where it was the black base color and then with the pink legends for all of the modifiers. I'd probably quite like that because I really like the look of that backspace, escape, and tilde key. I really like those. So yeah, I'd probably like to see a whole
wasn't there a black pink GMK set in Interest Check like a year ago?
There was, but I wouldn't want it across the whole board. I just want the modifiers. So yeah, I don't think Blackpink ever actually got to group buy though.
Not yet, at least. Yeah, that was a meme that died really quick. Not the set, but like the Blackpink meme in the keyboard community died pretty quick.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, there you go. GMK White on Black mod add-on kit, guys. It's looking pretty good. Hopefully it'll be nice on our wallets as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to that.
All right. Next up, we have the group buy for GMK Copper, which is open now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about
I've
this set, Jay? How do you feel about it?
I've just noticed something. Well, before we get into that, I've just noticed that he's got the JO2 up there right at the very top. I didn't even know that render existed, but that looks great.
Look at the pen rail on that one.
Yeah, the patina on there.
Is that supposed to be patina? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the limited edition JO2. I didn't even know that was there.
This
he told me he was getting some renders done, but that's awesome.
This looks really good. Yeah, I like that. I like that patina rail with this set. That's kind of a cute idea. And you could totally do that too, as like a JO, like any of the JO2 owners. You could just artificially, patina your board or whatever, or your brass parts.
Whether you've got the brass or the copper version. Yeah, there's the two versions. So I mean, I was actually talking in my Discord the other day with Fatboy, who's running this, and I was mentioning that I was going to patina my personal ones and make them kind of all, that kind of copperish green color on top and stuff like that, and same for the mid piece. So to see that he's taken that and put it into a render is quite sweet of him. So thank you very much for doing that, dude. I didn't know I didn't know that was coming, but yeah, that looks awesome.
I like Mr. Petrov points out in chat. He says smart, and now Jay can't diss it. Oh no! Nothing is safe from us, my friend. However, both of us actually kind of like this set, so
I do kind of like
this set is kind of safe because both of us actually don't hate it.
Yeah, and I am kind of pissed that it's not got UK ISO in, because that's the one thing that is removing this me
from an otherwise pretty full base kit. Yeah.
But I do really like the set. I mean, if you look at the base kit for this, so before we talk about the colours and stuff, just looking at the base kit, I mean, you can cover pretty much anything. It's got that semi UK ISO support without the number keys, and it's also got US ISO. It's got Sangan, HHKB, numpad, multiple different coloured enter keys for all three enters, multiple options for your arrow keys. 65% support. You name it, it's got it. There's a really, really, really good level of compatibility in here. There's even some 1U keys for 40s, like a 1U enter, a couple of 1U shifts, and some extra control and alts and things like that as well. So there's some really good coverage in here, and you can cover most boards. And I think this is quite possibly one of my favourite base kits overall that I've seen. I'd add 2 keys to this, the 2 and the 3 for UK, and that would be absolutely perfect. I think that would cover pretty much anything. In terms of the colours, I think having the teal accent enters for that kind of copperish green patina, that just makes the set for me. I'm not normally a fan of accent enter keys, and I tend not to use them on my boards, but for this set, it's an absolute must. It takes it from just being copper, and which are the alphas, and then the aged copper, which is kind of like the mods, to having that then patinaed copper, which is those modifier accent keys, and I think that just absolutely blows it out of the water for me. This is a must buy for me. It's absolutely going to have a place on my personal limited edition JO2. That is exactly where it's going to go. This is going to be stunning as a key set. I think it's going to look absolutely great IRL. I think it's going to look fantastic. There's some other keys I want to talk about in a bit, but what do you think to the base kit, Brian?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think as far as compatibility goes, this is definitely one of the best base kit setups that you can kind of get. Obviously without the full UK ISO there, but otherwise looking pretty darn good. I think this is a really well composed set as far as colors go. I feel like it's very thematic. It very much fits that. The accents work really, really nice. It's a great contrast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I mean, it does cost $140.
But USD that's great for that
set. But like you were talking about, the compatibility really is there. So.
For $140, that base kit is insanely sized.
It's pretty good. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. Let's talk about the novelties though. Let's move on to a couple other kits. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert on copper or other alloys. But I did read through the thread, so obviously I'm an expert on why there is a spider and an octopus in the novelties.
Why don't you tell us then, Brian? Go on. Explain to us why the spider and the octopus are there.
Well, apparently they have specific levels of copper in their bloodstream. Did I get that right? Is that right? Okay, so bam,
pretty much.
That's worthy of that. And apparently the most notable icon of patina is effectively the Statue of Liberty. So
correct. Yes.
That's why those are there, and then obviously this is kind of a periodic table kind of thing. I'm not really sure what this is though. What is the top logo here?
I think this is from when it was used in or by alchemists. I'm pretty sure that relates to alchemy, but I'd have to read up and double check. But from when we were looking at GMK alchemy, I recognise that symbol as one, and I'm pretty sure it's the alchemist symbol for copper, as when they were using copper as part of their attempts to transition lead into gold, for example. You know, I'm pretty sure that's where it comes from. But I have to say the standout caps here for me are the Statue of Liberty. I would have loved to have had that on one of the ISO enters. That Statue of Liberty on an ISO enter key would have been amazing. I would have absolutely loved that. And the CU caps as well. So the periodic table of elements with the elemental weighting and everything else, the atomic number and all that. That looks great as well. Really, really big fan of those two caps.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. Melody calling me out on saying copper was an alloy as opposed to an element. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I told you I was not an expert on this. I'm not a scientist.
Said the periodic table of elements, and then you called it an alloy, and it's like, dude, I did notice that when you said it, but I wasn't going to correct you.
Look, I've said a lot of stupid things throughout Clack's life, and I will not stop here. I promise you that, guys. So, yes, always look forward to me making a fool of myself on the episode. That almost happens every single time. Or does happen almost every single time. But pretty good novelties kit, all things considered. Pretty good spacebar kit. Can't really complain there. And man,
I would have loved to have seen that the Statue of Liberty on the ISO enter. That would have been amazing. This would have loved to have seen that.
The Octopus enter is a little bit much for me, but it's really, really intense. Like, looking at these renders on the white iron 165, which looks absolutely stunning, by the way. I love this combo. The Octopus really does look at home on that board. Got it.
It does. It's the novelty that Nautilus should have had instead of the ones it did have.
That's true. I as much as I love the Squid Marine, like the idea of the Squid Marine, I don't think it made for a very, very great novelty. This, on the other hand, I think looks quite nice.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of this. I think a couple of people have mentioned when I've been talking to them in chat that this might look a little bit washed out. It might look a bit too brown, a bit too earthy. But I think given the colours that they've chosen, and given the colours that Fatboy Carney's chosen for this, I think it's going to turn out just fine. I think it's going to be really nice. And I don't suspect it'll have that earthy, soily look to it. I think it's going to look really, really good.
Yeah,
I've got full confidence in this. I think it's going to look really close to the renders, especially that with that teal. It's going to be really clear and obvious what the theme is if you see the key set in real life. So, yeah, it looks really good. Just moving away from the actual GMK keycaps, though. Have you seen the other keycaps that are available in this as novelties?
Oh,
an artisan. Sorry, should I say?
So.
Yeah, so there is a Salvan copper.
Oh wait, I did see this.
Well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, these look fantastic. So I've followed Salvan on Instagram, as a lot of people do. He showed these off a couple of days, weeks ago. I can't remember now, but I think these look absolutely stunning. That kind of whole patinaed look, and that is a real patina that he's applied to those keycaps using a special process, and then he's laser etched and clear coated them as well. So I think they look fantastic.
Yeah. Yep, definitely looking pretty epic. Very cool.
If anyone buys a JO2 and wants me to pre-patina their pen rail and brass and copper mid piece, if you buy the FE version, then I'm going to get Salvan to do that, basically.
Interesting. Yeah, cool.
Because it would look amazing.
Yeah. All right. So very cool. That is up for group buy now, guys. So if you want that, there you go. There's your proxies there. Very, very nice. All right, speaking of things that are open, we have a non-GMK set that is open. This is Cat Drifter over on the Key.company for your US proxy. Obviously, you have other proxies as well listed there. And, yeah, so this is Cat Drifter, which is kind of an iteration of the previous Drifter set that was in DSA previously. Now it's coming to Cat, which is pretty awesome. This is based off the game Hyperlight Drifter, if I recall. Yeah, there we go, by Heart Machine. And yeah, a lot of people like this. I gotta be honest, I don't really I've never played the game. Just let me preface by saying that, but I don't really care for the characters on this, but it's actually selling pretty well.
Yeah, so I think it's difficult for me to talk about this one because I am the EU proxy for this, so my story is running as EU proxy, so I'm going to let Brian give his opinions. I don't think it'd be fair for me to give my opinions, but I can say it is selling really well, both on Jason's site and the other proxies. I think the MOQ is pretty much hit when you add in the extra numbers from other proxies, and the maximum limit is it's 500 sets worldwide, of which there are 50 for the EU and I think 50 for Asia as well, which are selling out pretty quickly. I don't think that the group buy will run until its end date. I think it will stop before that because it'll hit those limits.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of interesting having the alpha sets limited to 500 in any combination, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice. So yeah, once those alphas hit 500, it's done. It's GG.
Yeah, and it's limited because of licensing. So it's basically licensing with the game developers, and that's what's limiting it here. So that's why it's limited. But yeah, the metric that's being used across all the vendors is not how many kits overall, but it's how many alpha kits have been sold. So it can be any number of the white or the dark alphas, but once that number's hit, then that's where all the vendors will stop selling at that point.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I think my thoughts on the set are pretty mediocre. I think the colors are fine. I don't understand the legends because I've never played the game, but I mean they look kind of fun. A lot of people are into that kind of thing. It's not really my thing, but you know, a lot of people do like that, and it's showing because it's selling quite well. And the price, not too bad either. You can there's two different alphas kits. There's alphas and then there's dark alphas. You can get the normal alphas and the mods kit, which is actually pretty rich in compatibility, for about $110 together, which is starting to kind of get in that GMK territory. But yeah, you do get a decent amount of compatibility. You don't get a numpad in the mods kit, but you do get a lot of keys, all things considered, including ISO enter. Look at all those.
2 ISO enters.
That's pretty good. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Depending on what kind of accents you're trying to run. So yeah, I don't know. I have no real thoughts on this set other than that. I don't really care about it. I gotta be totally honest, because I didn't really care about it when it was DSA. I guess I, by default, have to care about it more because I prefer Cat over DSA, but I'll probably wind up skipping on this one. Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's completely fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to comment on my personal things because I think that would be a conflict of interest. But I think for people who like the game, they tend to like those kind of things, and the game has a huge following. So I think that's where the driver for this particular set comes from. Just a point to note as well, the dark alphas are a little bit larger in terms of the pack and the pricing because it has a numpad in it as well, rather than moving the numpad to a separate kit. So you still need to buy the numpad to get the modifiers, but you can actually get the numpad alpha keys within the dark alpha kit, which aren't there in the light alpha kit. So yeah, that's the other thing to point out from there.
Yep, very cool. It does have
a ton of great compatibility. So
yeah. There's a lot of different kits. Like you can, if I got this right, you can start outfitting boards like Ergodox. You can start outfitting for about $80. A lot of 40 boards are about $85, and then you know, for a lot of the rest of us, it's about $110. So. Really not terribly expensive. That's one of the things I think Creative definitely brings to the party with sets like the Cat profile. I think you get a lot of value for your money because I think the Cat profile pretty awesome, honestly, for the price.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So there you go. That's a group buy right now. You can buy it there, and then of course, once again, I'll list your proxies right there. You can buy from obviously my very trusted co-host if you're in the EU, and then if you're in Asia, you can buy from Z Frontier. So very, very cool. All right, let's take a look at this next key set since we're sort of on the topic of licensing. Over on Novelkeys, we have Star Wars GMK Boba Fett. And of course, they have to put Star Wars before GMK Boba Fett because it's an officially licensed set. And of course, Disney wants everyone to know that. So there you go, guys. You wanted a GMK Boba Fett set? You got it. And this is not the first time we've seen an officially licensed Star Wars set from Novelkeys. Obviously, we've seen it before in DSA Galactic Empire, and then even... no, I guess has there been any other Star Wars Novelkeys sets?
There was the Orabesh one as well. So there was two.
Yes,
I think there was the Orabesh one. There has been an unofficial Star Wars one as well. So Halton ran a DSA Bounty Hunter set, which was based on which was based on Boba Fett's colors. So he had kind of like the green, the whites, the yellows, and the deep reddish brown colors as well. So that was a DSA set that wasn't officially licensed. It was just themed on something, which is why it had the Bounty Hunter title rather than anything specific to Star Wars or indeed Boba Fett in the name. But this one is officially licensed, as you mentioned, Brian. It's fully licensed by I assume Disney now, because it was Lucasfilm, and then that's owned by Disney. So I think the parent company for this will be Disney ultimately.
Yeah.
Which does lead to it being quite highly priced at $225. You are paying for that license. You are paying for it to be an official Star Wars product.
Yeah, and like we were talking about this set before the show, this is a GMK set, obviously. These are all new molds. Every single key in here is a new mold, which which does also drive up the price noticeably, in tandem with the licensing. So not a cheap set, $225. And let's take a look at the base kit as well.
Yeah, now just while you're doing that, it is worthwhile saying as well that these are in stock. This isn't something that's going to go to group buy. It's ready to ship now. So it's, these are already produced. They're already sat there ready to go. Mike at Novelkeys has got these sat in the warehouse already produced. So it's not a group buy. It's a literal in-stock item. That's just the way Disney rolls these days. They fund and bankroll it along with the vendors, and then it turns up and then they get sold. So, yeah, really interesting from that perspective. But what about the base kit, Brian? What kind of compatibility have we got in there?
It's not too bad, but it's also a little deceptive, because if you take a look, so many of these keys are like accents or novelties, and they've kind of skimped on a little compatibility to get those in. So obviously you can take a look here. You get no ISO compatibility whatsoever. Not even a courtesy ISO enter, Jay. Not even a courtesy ISO enter. So you get no ISO support at all. But you do get numpad, you do get HHKB support, Sangon support. You have a 6U, a 7U, and a 6.25U spacebar. And you get a ridiculous amount of novelties and accents if you're into that sort of thing. I gotta be honest, I've been a long time Star Wars fan, since I can remember. I was watching the movies, reading the comics, playing the CCG, the card game that got discontinued by Decipher in 2001. I was a Star Wars nerd. I go to Star Wars trivias. Like, I am very much in love with Star Wars, and have been for as long as I can remember. But the set just doesn't do it for me. I think it just looks a little too cluttered with the sub-legends. I get what they're going for here, but I just do not like it. And it also, side note, missed opportunity to call it GMK Mandalorian, which I think, taking into the account the meta, would have made way more sense, because that show is doing very well right now. You can kind of ride the success of that a little bit more, maybe sell a few kits. So yeah, that's my thought on it.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. I think the set does look really, really busy. As I've always said, I'm not usually a fan of sub-legends, so that kind of works against it for me. What I would say, though, is that every single, as you said, Brad, every single keycap is a new mold. So even when you look at the actual standard letters on here, so you look at the Q, the W, the E, the R, all of the alphas, those are not GMK legends in the top left-hand corner. They are new legends specifically for this set. Same with the text where it says tab and caps lock. That is all brand new. Those
every single key is brand new. Every single one.
Even if you took out all of the Mandalorian language from this, I can't remember the name of the Mandalorian, Mando, I think it is. But even if you took all of those characters out, every single key would still be a new mold, because the actual standard legends on there are still different. So, you have to bear that in mind. That does influence the price. I think this set would have been much neater if they'd have got rid of the English and just had the Mando legends on there.
Yeah, I gotta agree. This one just feels a little too forced. But a lot of people are into this kind of stuff. A lot of people. I hate to kind of segregate any part of the community, obviously, but like a lot of the more seasoned enthusiasts, and I don't want to use the term elitist, but like people like us that like live and breathe keyboards, the people that watch a show, a live stream, they watch us talk about keyboards every week, like that caliber of keyboard enthusiast. This is not the target audience, for this set. this is the kind of thing that you would maybe more see on Mass Drop, that people that have a mechanical keyboard but aren't really keyboard enthusiasts, they see this kind of thing and like, oh, that's cool because, Star Wars. Let me put that on my keyboard. It's almost a secondary kind of thing, whereas, people like us argue about the legends on keycaps. Like, it's a very different kind of life, and I feel like this kind of set does get a little bit more tailored to an audience like that. The same kind of fan base or audience that you'd sell, Galactic Empire to, or Galaxy Class by Nordauer, for example.
Sure.
It feels more like that kind of audience as opposed to like the really high-end keyboard enthusiast that lives and breathes keyboards on a daily basis.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And being active in a couple of other nerd culture communities in the UK, I have seen this referenced there as well. So in the kind of like Star Wars subculture here in the UK, it's already been referenced there. People are talking about it and buying it, and then realizing it doesn't fit on their keyboards because there's no ISO support. But that's a different problem entirely. But people are buying it because of that, and for me, I probably will pick this up as a Star Wars fan, and if I ever use it, it'll have to be on a HHKB board for me. But I think it's more of a collector's item. It's something that I would keep and just hold and own because it's something cool to own, not because I particularly like it or because I particularly want to use it, but just because it's a cool piece of memorabilia. Not even memorabilia, just a cool collectible.
Yeah, and that exact thought is actually something that ties in with Thorkin just said, who says, "Remember, we all scoffed at the first of expensive Star Wars caps, and it sold out pretty quickly." Assuming he's referring to Galactic Empire, which it did. It was overpriced. It honestly didn't look that great, but it still sold out. Because this is something that you don't even need to use. It's a collectible. You can keep this as memorabilia. You can just keep it in the tray, put it, on a shelf or something like that, put it in a display case or whatever. That's what this feels like to me. It's kind of like that. I don't want to look at this all day and use it. I just want to like have it and be like, oh yeah, I have that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what kind of case this comes in, because in some of the product images that are on Mike's site, it shows what looks like an actual push and pull apart box, not a banderole kind of wrapper that we see on usual GMK sets. And it also looks like then the keycaps are set into a felt insert as well. So we do see that on some sets like Taihao sets and things. We do get them from China and Asia shipped like that. So it'd be interesting to see if this is a GMK set that actually comes pre-packaged like that. And if they do, I wonder if that's been something that's been arranged with GMK, or if that's something that's done manually by Mike's team, or maybe LucasArts or something like that. So interesting to see. But it's really cool that it comes in that specific collectible box as well, with all of the different bits on there. That's really nice to see.
I just noticed this because I didn't really look at the box that clearly before, but it says Mandalorian with English sub-legends, which is interesting because traditionally we would consider this particular setup English with Mandalorian sub-legends. Usually the top left legend, classically, is the mono legend, the main legend. So it's kind of interesting that they kind of reversed it for this.
I think that's why they've changed the whole GMK text, because they've made the GMK font smaller, and then on the modifier keys they put it all in capitals, but they've shrunk it and put it up to the top of the keycap. If you look at the keycaps, what stands out most is the Mandalorian text rather than the standard Latin text. So I suspect that's why they're calling them sub-legends. They've just changed the placement of them. I wonder actually, if we look back at some old Star Wars footage, I wonder if any of them, like in Slave One in Boba Fett's ship, I wonder if the legends on his keys are on the bottom right, and that's why they've done it that way, or if that just happens to be sheer happenstance.
Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, I don't actually know.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch.
Good reference on the Slave One, by the way.
Hey man, my Star Wars knowledge is up there. I know my stuff when it comes to Star Wars.
Do you?
Okay.
Pretty good. All right. Yeah. I respect that in a co-host.
So. Good.
Yeah. Anyways, so if you guys want a cool piece of memorabilia, $225 is not cheap for a GMK base set, especially one that doesn't support ISO in any format, not even a sub kit. But hey, it's kind of more of a collectible in my eyes. So
it is.
There you go.
I do lament the lack of ISO support, but I'm absolutely going to buy this either way because it's a cool collectible, and it doesn't need to be anything more than that. That's what it's designed to be.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. So there you go. That's open now. I don't remember exactly how many sets they have in stock, but it is an in-stock item, and I doubt they're going to do another run. So when this sells out, that'll probably be it. So if you want it, probably a good time to buy it now. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, jumping over to our next set, we've got another cat set to talk about. This is Cat Specimen. So this set's been in interest check for quite some time, actually. I think was it last year when
it's at least a year, yeah.
Like January 2019, I think it was.
I think it was about a year ago, yeah.
Yeah. So this set's been around a while. I think it was actually on the very first show that I was on Top Clack. We talked about the interest check for this.
That's
so
funny.
I have no idea what I said at the time, but this is kind of a multicolored set with different colors tiered across the set in a kind of swoop reminiscent of SA 1976 and a few other sets that we've seen run in that kind of fashion. It's already live as a group buy. It runs from 15th until the 23rd as well on Kono and a few of the different areas as well for the different proxies. Designed by Cucumber, Keycap profile as we talked before, which means it is PBT and it's die subbed Legends, made by Creative. Now, what I did want to talk about this on this one, Brian, is something that we were talking about on the show. There is a lot of different kits for this because it's cat, and that's kind of what we expect.
Yeah.
But for $70 you can get the base kit for this set. You can get a base kit which covers quite a lot, right? For most users in the US, this is going to do you just fine. You can cover a 60%, you can cover TKL, 65%, HHKB, you've got Sangan bottom row, you've even got a 6U spacebar bottom row if you want to do something really funky like a true HHKB bottom row or something like that, including short shifts, arrow keys, and everything else. For $70, that seems pretty good price-wise.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before the show, and that kind of blows my mind because normally when we see sets by Cat, they are separated in the way that we see pretty much every other set from Cat, which is, you have an alphas kit, maybe sometimes two, then you have a mod kit. Generally, you have to buy both of them to get like an actual compatible set for something, and then there's a bunch of extra kits after that. But this is like a totally new and different approach that kind of has me by surprise, because, like Jay said, this is only $70, and for a lot of people, this works. You can look at what you can outfit with this. You can do lots of different 60% layouts. You can do TKL. You can do wind keyless TKL, Sangon. You can actually do full HHKB. There's even a 1.5U delete there. There's a 1U tilde, 1U pipe. So you actually get full HHKB Sangon coverage here in a $70 base kit, which is pretty. It's
great.
This covers all of my boards. This covers all of my preferred layouts, which is really, really cool, and I love the fact that it's only $70.
For someone like you, Brian, who uses these particular layouts, that base kit at $70 is insanely good. But you know what's even better? If you don't need Legends on your keycaps, you can get exactly the same base kit in blanks for an even better price. You can get it for $40. $40 for that same base kit, exactly the same keycaps, but in blanks.
Yes. So yes, that is absolutely ridiculous to me. So you just take the Legends away, you save, what, $20? Is that what it is? Or $30, I think?
20,
30. No, you say 30. It goes from 70 down to 40. So, bam.
$30 for Legends.
$40 gets you a rather limited Cat base set that will work for a lot of Onzi users.
Yeah,
$40, and you get in Cat. Cat is a very nice profile, and the keycaps are very nice. They're very heavy. They're very dense. They're very thick. They feel premium. That's one of my favorite things about Cat, is just how good it actually feels, like in the hand and to type on. Like, it actually feels like a really premium product. So to be able to get a base kit here for $40, that'll actually fit a lot.
And you know nice. What? You could amend that blank space kit for probably another $5 and chuck in a ton more support. You could chuck an ISO shape tensor into there, a short left shift, 2 extra 1U blanks, and instantly you've opened it up to the rest of the world as well, not just ANSI users, for an extra $5 on a blank set. And that's pretty good going. That's really, really cheap for what is one of the nicest sculpts on the market. This is probably my second favorite sculpt overall. I think Cherry's still winning, but for that kind of price, you can't really go wrong for something that's as nice as this.
Yeah,
it's
It's
a great price.
I don't even, I gotta be honest, I don't really care about the colorway. I don't really care about gradient key sets. I've never really been too into them, so this one's kind of a pass for me. But if I were someone looking to try Cat for the first time and I only had $40 to spend, that blanks kit is a really, really attractive value, I gotta admit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can even expand on this further as well, because as well as the 2 base kits that we talked about, there is an ortho-linear kit. There's also an extras kit, which gives you kind of additional mod functionality and some of the more unusual mod-sized keys as well. There's a UK ISO kit, and then there's also some of the other kits that Depleted Vespene and Eskimojo kind of made popular over the past couple of months with some of the work that they've done with things like the North and South kit for EU users, a French kit, and then there's additional numpad, smaller spacebar, split spacebar support, and an extensions kit as well, which has some rather unusual novelties included as well.
That is a really interesting novelties kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, for those that you don't know, the whole theme of this is kind of specimen, as in being beamed up by aliens and being examined and probed and tested by aliens,
yes.
speed, whatever, which is why they have a lot of the spaceship kind of emotes the alien head, and then the kind of beakers and test tubes and all of that kind of stuff. I'm still not quite sure I understand why there's a cow ANSI enter in there and a cow 1.25U key for the bottom row. I don't quite get that, but I do get all of the other ones, and I think they work quite well.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. All right, so yeah, pretty solid prices, and the kitting. I wonder, do you guys think we're gonna see more of this? I wonder how effective this is actually gonna be.
Well, I think the pricing is great, because even if you look at some of the other kits, that numpad kit is $25, $25 for that numpad kit. That's pretty good going. The extensions kit is $17. The UK ISO kit is only $10. These prices are so low that with a base kit that cheap, you can add on the additional functionality you need for next to nothing. Even if you want full Norder support, you can just buy the North kit for $30, the base kit for $70, and $100. You've got everything you need.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, when was the last time you saw like a 20+ key novelty pack for $17? That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the pricing on this is really good pricing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even care about like the colorway, but like I kind of want to buy the blanks kit just because it's $40.
You should. Now I will say I do not like the colorway itself. I don't mind gradient style sets. I quite like 1976 and things like that. I don't like this particular one, and I wouldn't actually buy this particular one. But for the pricing, to try out Cat, I think it's really well priced, and it's probably going to do pretty well, to be honest. That blanks kit is a great idea. I would like to see that blanks kit in other Cat sets as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this set launch is going to be kind of interesting, because I think it's going to be able to tell us if this particular kind of kitting could be successful or not. Because this is actually kind of out there as far as kitting goes. If we're being totally honest, this is kind of strange.
Yeah,
it could really work. And right now, like we've talked about in the last couple episodes, we're kind of at like a pivotal point in the community where like no one really knows the best way to kit out sets. Like some people think they do, but like no one really does. And we're kind of just trying a lot of different things. And that's why every time you see a base kit for any set and any profile, it's different from something else almost 100% of the time.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you're just like, well, this makes sense to me and this doesn't. And then, that changes from person to person. So maybe we'll get some more traction on finding out what is or is not the best way to do it. And this could be a really cool way to do it, especially for Cat,
absolutely,
at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Cat has a very different approach to how MOQ needs to be hit. It's per key rather than per base kit or per child kit. So it's very, very different, which is why it allows you to have much more flexibility with the types of kit you offer, and you don't necessarily have to offer a certain base kit and then try and limit it. You can be a lot more open with it. And the more the community grows, and we've talked about this at length before, but the more the community grows, the more opportunity we'll have to do these kind of experiments with other types of profile as well. And I'm hopeful that one day we'll even get there with things like GMK and SP. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, guys, this is live right now. So make sure to go pick that up if you want a really interesting base kit at a pretty good price. Or maybe you've never tried Cat before and you want to. Pick up some of the blanks. Only $40 for that kit, and that'll outfit a lot of Onzi boards.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Cool.
All right, let's move away from key sets for a second and talk about something a little bit more charitable. So this is the interest check for the Tree Mat, which is a global fundraising invitation, as it were. And this is originating here with Switch Keys, which is an AU vendor for the community. And as you can tell, this is a single small tree on a desk mat. And the reason why this is kind of important is because right now in Australia, they are getting absolutely devastated by wildfires. Absolutely devastated. And it's gotten quite bad. They've actually recently gotten some rain, so it's not quite as bad as it was, thankfully. But it was and still is quite a problem, honestly.
It's huge. It's hugely problematic for Australia. I mean, all of the animals, the plants, and everything else. The whole of the one coast of Australia has been decimated by this. So you're right. The rain is alleviating that a little bit at the minute, but even so, all of that damage has been done. All of that habitat has been lost. All of the the fire service in Australia, they've been working day and night for a month now, trying to stem these fires. All showing how hard they can work. I mean, some of the videos of some of the heroics that I've seen in there is absolutely obscene. What's happened there? It looks awful. And the idea behind this that Steph from Switch Keys has come up with is to try and help support them. So basically, every single penny of profit from these from the production of these desk mats is going to go to helping the CFA and trying to help them out. Now, the mat itself was designed by Nathan Alfman, and the kind of the darkness, the blackness is there to represent the devastating smoke, the ash, the desolation that's now occurred across all of those areas. The red stitching on the outside symbolizes the fire that's caused that devastation. And then there's a single solitary tree in the center, which symbolizes the life that's left and what's been taken away. And it's quite a stark reminder of just how important habitats like that are to the world. So please, guys, I would genuinely like to ask people to consider donating, consider supporting, the CFA, the fire service in the County Fire Authority in Australia, because they've done an amazing job trying to protect people's homes, trying to protect livestock and cattle and farming grounds, have been trying to protect wildlife, the koalas and everything else. I've seen so many videos of people trying to help injured animals and koalas and kangaroos and all of that kind of stuff. That it's just absolutely amazing to see how much hard work's gone into that, and I think this is a really, really good cause. So I know that this community is great. I know that people are happy to put their hands in the pockets when it comes to stuff like this and spend the money, because we've seen it before in stuff that we've done. So I absolutely want people to try and support this charity in any way they can.
Yeah, we've already shown quite recently, in fact, that this community can make a very big and very positive difference, and here's another chance to showcase that. So,
absolutely, Brian, get the t-shirt out. Get the t-shirt out. Do the thing.
Get the thing.
Click the button.
Let me take off my hoodie, and that way I can show it off a little bit better. 1 second.
Yeah, take off the hoodie.
Hopefully, I won't
whilst
completely strip while I'm on stream.
Do the
sounds
thing.
Like something I would totally do.
Click the button, send the money, guys, because this is a really, really, really good opportunity for us to do something great as a community once again, and just rise up and stand for something, and that's really important. So Brian, what's the praise? Do the thing. Click the button, send the money. There it is. You can see it live on stream. He's got the t-shirt up. The t-shirt tells you you've got to do it. If it's on a t-shirt, it's true, right?
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
That works.
Absolutely.
It's law once it's in print. It's legal. It's in print. There you go.
Eskimo Joe says Brian strips for charity. I would. It's against TOS.
Well, Brian won't strip for charity. How about that? If we pay money, Brian won't strip. That's the trick.
Oh yeah, I don't think most of you want to. Most of you probably don't want to see me naked. Which I mean, I totally understand. So, but yes, do the thing, click the button, send the money. There you go. Support this cause. If I recall, it's only a $20 mat, roughly.
Yeah, $20.
In the US,
Yeah, £15 here in the UK, or in the EU, wherever you are.
Yeah, so it's not really
quite a few different proxies.
It's not really any more expensive than any other desk mat that you would buy. It's just this one has profits going to charity and a very good cause. Because like you were mentioning, Jay, I've seen some of the videos and it's kind of rough to watch. Like I just watched one last night where it was a guy had like 10 koalas in his car and was just like like feeding them water, like trying to keep them hydrated, and it's really hard to watch. There's been firefighters, shout out to the firefighters that have flown in out from outside of Australia to go help there, because that's been happening a lot lately too. So very cool. It's a really, really serious situation that a lot of people don't really know about.
Yeah, it's a really, really worthy cause, guys. Genuinely it is, and I really do implore you to, even if you can't buy one of these mats, just give $1 or something to the Australian County Fire Authority, because they've done amazing work over the past month. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're the EU proxy for this. I didn't even realize that.
Steph from Switch yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It's already live. He hasn't put my link in there yet, but it's already live, and we've already had a ton of sales on it. Like literally before, like I wanted to buy some of these myself, and of course, if I want to buy them, I'd buy them through my store, because that's how it works. We use my personal money to buy it through the store. But before I'd even got I put it live, and before I'd even got chance to buy one myself, I'd had 5 orders. It just went straight, literally within like a second. It was crazy. So there was a ton of people wanting to support this. So
awesome.
Please do that. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah. So there are your vendors there. Obviously, if you're in Australia, you can buy directly from Switch Keys. If you're in Asia, Z Frontier. USA actually has 2 current proxies, the Key Company or Teal Technic, depending on who your preference is there. And I think they're even accepting other vendors as well. Like you can kind of just sign up for it as a vendor, because I mean it's for charity. All the profits go to charity anyway, so it doesn't really matter who's running it as long as people have access to it.
The idea here is that the more vendors have it, the more people will see it, and the more people will then be tempted to buy it, and the more money we will raise. So it doesn't matter how many vendors there are. There can be 10. So if every vendor in the world wants to join it, then they should.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you get in on this, guys, and if there's vendors out there watching that aren't already a part of this, maybe consider running it as well. Get a little bit more eyes on it, get some more coverage, because we gotta do something, man. The world is like about to be destroyed. I feel like something's always going wrong right now. Yeah,
the world's on fire. There was a really, really good infographic on Reddit earlier on today, which just showed every day and every year since like 1850 just how the temperatures have changed, and when you looked at it, you could just see the world getting warmer as it went across.
Yeah, big difference.
The last 10 years. Huge. Yeah, it was just crazy. It was a really good infographic, actually. It really highlighted to me how much how much global warming is impacting the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, so hop in on this, guys. Make sure you do the right thing, do the thing, click the button, send the money. You guys know it.
Yes.
Classy, thank you so much for the 10 bits, man. Appreciate that, my dude. And let's move on to the last topic of our news doc for today. So we have a new Switch over at Novelkeys, the Novelkeys Sherbet. Well, there's no second R, so I always want to say Sherbet because that's how I've always heard it and I've always said it.
Sherbet, yeah.
It's Sherbet, right?
Sherbet. Yeah, it's just how it's said. Yeah, you're right. I think it's pronounced differently around the world, but yes.
Anyways, so this is a new clicky switch on the market. I know a lot of you guys probably don't give a damn about clicky switches, but maybe that's true. Some people do. Maybe some people will care about this one. So a couple quick specs. It is going to be plate mount, unfortunately. I don't understand this because Kale has molds for PCB mount bottoms now. This is nothing new.
They do, yeah.
I don't understand why these are not PCB mounts, so I would hope that they would change that over, or at least do another iteration with those. 70-gram bottom mount on the spring, nothing terribly different there. What's new about this one is it is a Kale switch and it has 4mm travel. So those of you unfamiliar with Kale switches know, or might not know, that generally Kale switches have a shorter than 4mm travel. 4mm is kind of the normal travel distance as dictated by Cherry, Gateron, etc. That's what's known as like the standard. That's what almost all switches are for us. That's generally how we operate. But most Kale switches, depending on which line you're purchasing from, sit between 3.2mm actuation and 3.8mm actuation, with some at 3.4 and 3.6 as well. So this is actually the very first Kale switch that has a click bar and the standard 4mm travel. So this will feel a little bit less like a Kale switch, perhaps, and maybe a little bit more like other switches. But it has a click bar, which is pretty cool, because the only switches we've seen the click bar in beforehand are box switches and speed switches from Kale. So this is the first time we're getting a normal mainstream product with a click bar. And I liked it quite a bit on the Kale Speed Bronze switch, but the drawback there obviously is the 3.2mm actuation, or full travel, sorry. So yeah, it's like 1.2mm actuation and 3.2 overall or something like that, which is, it feels quite a bit shorter than a normal 4mm switch. So interested to try these out. 45 cents a switch, not too bad, but it does feel... I'm going to say it feels expected. It almost feels a little high, considering that a lot of other switches like this, a lot of the other plate mount Kale switches, are in that like 25 to 35 cent range. And I don't really see why this one is more expensive, just because it has the full travel of 4mm.
I suspect it's probably because it's some new mold to enable that 4mm of travel. So I know that the click bar base is probably the standard click bar base, but there's probably differences in the top and the stem. Yeah, but I mean the reason why it doesn't have PCB mount as well is because it's got the click bar in. So whilst we have seen PCB mount switches from Kale and Novelkeys, that's been on the non-click bar basis. So I don't think they've done PCB mount click bar bases yet. So we just need to wait for that to come along, or it may not come along. I don't know, but I think that's the difference there. But I think these are going to be quite interesting. I mean, I don't really tend to use clicky switches. I don't think many people do. If I do, I would always just literally go to box Jades or box Navies, because they're the best ones on the market right now. But to have the full switch travel, and these look quite interesting, I definitely want to try them out. So hopefully I'll ask Mike after the show, but hopefully he'll be willing to send us each a packet of these so we can try them out. But yeah, I mean, why not bring a clicky back to the market? Why not have it?
I like it.
Interesting.
This actually leads me on to my next point of discussion over this is, are clickies coming back to the market? Because we saw just, a week and a half ago or whatever at CES, Zeal is launching a new clicky switch as well, and it's looking pretty nice. And it definitely took us by surprise, because Jay and I never thought in a million years that Zeal was actually going to launch a clicky. So is 2020 going to be like the year of new clickies? That could be kind of interesting.
It could be. I mean, when we were talking about the Zeal switch and we knew that something was coming, I really... When I said, "Oh, I wonder if it's a clicky," I was so being sarcastic with that. I was trying to be silly and come up with the last thing that Zeal would ever do. But then we turns up the next week, because we both laughed about it and said, "Oh yeah, it'd be funny if it was a clicky switch," and that's never going to happen. And then it did, and it kind of took me by surprise. And then we've got here another new clicky switch, and we had towards the back end of last year, we had the Phoenix switches from Utamu, which were a new clicky based on the old the old Aristotle stems. So it is interesting to see that we've had a few new switches in the past few months that kind of start to move back towards this clicky train. So maybe it is coming back.
It could be cool. I mean, clicky switches define mechanical keyboards for people that are not in the hobby. If someone
they don't associate it with Clack or Throck, they
click. Yes. Yeah. So if you're typing away at your office with Cherry MX Blues or whatever, and someone that doesn't know about mechanical keyboards and doesn't maybe own one walks by, they go, "Oh, that's a fancy keyboard. It clicks."
Yeah,
is it mechanical? That's so interesting. Like that brings people in, right? Like it's that kind of style. You can see it with the beam spring. You can see it with the iconic Model M and Model Fs. It's that classic clicky experience that people kind of just associate with, proper typists and like real, true keyboards and stuff like that. So, it could be interesting. Could be interesting for a lot of people entering the market.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they first join the community, they tend to go for a clicky switch. That's why we still see all of the navies, the jades, still Gator and greens selling, because people join the community and they have that kind of perception. Oh, a clicky keyboard's quite good, and I want to try a clicky keyboard, and they'll build one for the first time. I think we see that with a lot of people. It takes a little bit of while before people try tactile or linear switches. I think ultimately most people seem to end up on linears at the end of their experimentation. It certainly seems to be my experience. But I think you're absolutely right. I think the one of the entries to the hobby is seen as getting some clicky switches. So having more opportunities and more switches on the market for that could only be a good thing.
Yeah, whether any of us like clickies or not, they're crucial to the mechanical keyboard hobby, and it is a big part of kind of where we started from. So
yeah, PYK says that they've had people argue with them that all mechanical keyboards are clicky, so there's a perception they have to be clicky to be mechanical as well. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so a lot of uneducated people out there, and we can educate them, hopefully.
Yeah. Eskimojo is saying the natural progression is clicky to tactile to linear. Yeah, that's exactly the progression I went on. I don't use clickies anymore, but I do sometimes like to still use a tactile board. You're right. I'm mostly linear.
My first 4 boards. I went linear, then another linear, then I went tactile, and then I went clicky.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Quakeum's acting like an elite. No, I am not an elite. I really don't like an elitism attitude, so I try my best to not do that. I have been around the community for a while, and I've used a lot of keyboards. That's pretty much it. All right.
Yeah. So there we go. Cool.
There we go. Cool. And that's actually going to round out our news doc for today. We're going to talk about our sponsors for just a moment, and then we're going to roll into our Q&A segment like we always do. So if you guys have questions, use the @TopClack tag. You can start right now. Use the @TopClack tag. You can put the questions in the chat now, and we will get to them momentarily once we are done talking about our lovely, lovely sponsors. Starting out this week with Zeal Generation over at zealpc.net/TopClack if you love us. And he has all of his usual array of good switches and such in stock. So whether you like linears or tactiles or, apparently upcoming clickies, or you like silent switches of those formats as well, he's got you covered. He's got a pretty wide range of premium key switches here. I've been using a lot of them. I've been enjoying all of them. So if you're looking for some new switches and you've never tried a Zealio, for example, or a Telio, give it a shot. You might be surprised. They are pretty darn awesome, and he does have free shipping on orders over 150 USD, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah, and then moving on over to Novelkeys, so we've already taken a brief look at the store. That lovely Star Wars key set is available if that's in your wheelhouse. You can certainly go and pick up that GMK Boba Fett set. Failing that, there is 2 other different key sets that are available in group buy right now on Novelkeys. You can pick up GMK Peach Blossom, which has a $100 base kit starting, and for $100, that base kit is pretty good. There's a lot of compatibility in there. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a nice looking set as well. Matched different Pantones and lots of different kits and opportunities, but a great price. If Cat's more your thing, then Cat Lich by our very own Eskimojo, who's in chat right now. Cat Lich is in group buy as well. Multiple different kits for this, with based on some more character. I think it's a character called Wiz. I think I'm going by memory now.
Wiz, an undead shopkeeper from Konosuba.
Konosuba, yeah, that's it. Yeah, cool. And it's got a really unique twist on it in the fact that all of the legends are lowercase. So if that's up your street, guys, please do feel free to check that out and take a look and maybe perhaps buy it. As well as that, we've also got the Sherbet switches, which we just talked about on Novelkeys. They are in stock and ready to go, as well as a ton of other switches, springs, you name it, Mike's got it. If you want desk mats, if you want wrist rests, if you want springs, if you want switches, he's got everything, including lubes and God knows what else, other keycap profiles, Taihao, Cubic. The store's got pretty much everything for anyone at any level in this hobby, so please do go check them out. And if you would like a small discount of just 5% on anything that's in stock in store, you can use the code CLACKERS. That's CLACKERS, CLACKERS, all one word. That will get you 5% off. So I think the Royal, you were looking for that earlier on. You were asking if the discount code. Yes, there is, and it's CLACKERS. So there we go.
Very, very nice. Next up, we have Input Club over at Kono.store, and they have a few different things going on as well. They're not doing 18,000 GMK sets at the moment, but they do still have a couple. Don't worry. They have GMK Fuyu, which recently launched. Jay and I talked about this on the show last week, I believe, and we're both pretty big fans of it. It's a pretty nice looking set. Pretty large base kit as well. It does start at $150, but lots of compatibility and accents and stuff like that. So lots of cool stuff there. There's also, just like we talked about earlier in the show, GMK Copper, which is quite lovely. Man, I don't even like using like accents and novelties very often, but I feel like on this set, this particular picture really does it for me.
You have to have them there, right?
Like it really does look very, very nice. Anyways, $140 gets you a pretty nice base kit, all things considered. So make sure to check out that as well. And of course, they do still have pre-orders open for a lot of their previous GMK sets they run. So Kono likes to do this kind of unique thing where after a set is finished group buy, they pretty much leave it open for pre-order, so you can order an extra. They always order extras. So if you missed out on a group buy from Kono, but you still wanted to pick it up, no fear. Just like Ursa here, group buy is closed, but you can still pre-order it. Easy peasy. Love seeing that. So make sure to go get some GMK goodness, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, moving over to KBDfans, you've got multiple different options of things to buy from Wei and Gang. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is the laser on switches. So you saw me build these in my laser-themed polycarbonate canoe a couple of weeks ago on stream. These switches are still in group buy, but they're actually ready to ship. Now, Chinese New Year is upon us, so shipping might be delayed for a short while, but do rest assured that these are ready to go straight after Chinese New Year when Wei and Gang are back in work. So they're just a standard recolored Gatoron, but they will look really, really cool, pretty fly with your laser sets. So feel free to check that out. And if anyone's got SA laser, that's pretty much coming up to shipping now as well, so maybe it's something you want to buy, consider for that too. As well as that in group buy, there's also Max Key SA Mochoco keycaps. So if you want a green, pink, cream themed keycap set in SA profile, this could be right up your street. It's group buy is still ongoing at the moment. It's a Max Key set. Prices are pretty damn good, and I think it looks pretty nice as well. So maybe you should check that out too. If you're looking to try and get something a bit more entry level, then all of the kits that KBDfans sells may help you out. They've got a kit for everything from 60% to TKL to full size. You name it, they've done a kit that fits that kind of size profile. 40%'s in there, all sorts of different boards. The Pebbles, a new board that's come out quite recently. Lots and lots of different opportunities for you to pick up a good, solid keyboard kit with quality that's been improving over the past couple of years to pretty good level now. It's pretty good in terms of how far KBDfans quality control has come. As well as that, if there are any problems with quality control, they do have a store where they sell these. They have a kind of selected seconds store. So this is where things might have some slight damage that may or may not be visible to the outside case, but is usually sold at a really reduced cost. There's a lot of stuff that's usually on there. I think most things are out of stock at the moment, but do keep your eye on it because that stock changes fairly frequently, and there's often really, really good bargains to be had as well. So sometimes something will pop in there. It might be a great workboard, something that you can carry around with you day in, day out basis, that it doesn't matter if you scratch or damage because it's such a cheap bargain, and it's going to give you a really solid typing experience as well. So please do check those out.
Absolutely. And last but not least, today we have the Key Company, who has several things going on right now. So the Infinikey black on white and white on black set is still currently open. So if you want to get on some of that PBT die sub and or reverse die sub goodness, you still can. They have it available in the standard font as well as the Apple font in both colors each, so that's pretty nice. And particularly on the black on white version, only $90 base kit. Pretty darn great considering it's about as much compatibility as you could possibly have in a set. So that's pretty nice. And if you're willing to spend a little bit more, you can get the white on black version as well. They do still have GMK Dark also, which did open, I think, last week or the beginning of this month, which is pretty recently.
Yeah.
And that's doing all right. So if you like kind of a black on black aesthetic, which is very, very classic, you can get that base kit, $120, not too shabby. The C3 tangerines, are those done now?
They're sold out. Yeah, they're sold out.
Are they? I thought they still had a pre-order open for it or a group buy open for it.
Oh,
no, they closed it. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's sold out. I think they had the 18,000 pre-ordered, and they sold out completely. Yeah,
yeah.
I think we have to wait until after Chinese New Year for a new deal to be struck. Yeah.
All right. Well, No more C3 Tangerines at the moment, but you can still pick up Cat Drifter, which we just talked about earlier in the show. So if you're into the Hyperlight Drifter game, this could be a key set for you. And of course, they are one of the U.S. proxies for the Tree Mat, the CFA fundraiser they were talking about earlier. CFA being County Fire. What is it? What does CFA stand for? It's not Chick-fil-A.
Authority.
Authority. That's right. Yeah, County Fire Authority. There you go. Not Chick-fil-A, guys. So, bam, you can support that. You can get one of the desk mats there. All the proceeds go to a good charity that is in Australia to help with the wildfires, which they very desperately need right now. So, yeah, consider buying that as well. All right, guys, let's move over to the Q&A section. I've seen a few questions already rolling here, so I'm just going to scroll back up. Find a couple of these here. All right, looks like our first one here comes from Corpse Gorder? I don't know. Jay, you seem impressed by the Prophet and appears to be having a wider GB soon. You mentioned you have/used 2 with different plates. Can you talk about what plates they were and how each differs? Thanks.
Yeah, so I only have one board, but I do have 2 different internal builds for it. The board sounds very different depending on what plate you put in there. So, Brian, I know when I brought this one over to Seattle, you've tried it with the nylon plate in there. It's very, very quiet. It's very muted. It's still got quite a soft typing experience. Not say as soft as the IDB 60 or something like that, but it is a very soft typing experience, quite consistent. Conversely, if you put the carbon fiber plate in there, which is also what I have now, I haven't soldered this together, I've only press fit it together, but that is really, really loud. The whole board changes its tact, and it becomes a really, really loud board and really resonant as well through the case. I think the way the case is designed and the pin mount, it actually lends itself to having a really loud sound. So it's quite a loud board if you're using anything other than the nylon plate, I think. I suspect that will still happen if you use a brass plate or an aluminium plate, but I haven't tried those out. I do think there's been some changes to the design. Now, I haven't spoken to Max in any great detail, the guy who designed the board, since I've received mine or since he's made some changes. But the version that I have, which is an early prototype, does have some problems with bottoming out. So when you're typing and you're bottoming out on the flexible build with the nylon plate, that does short sometimes if you press a little bit too hard. It doesn't happen with the carbon fiber plate because that's a little bit more rigid and it's a full plate rather than a half plate as well. But depending on the build, you could end up with some shorting issues. I think that's been fixed for the group buy. I would assume it has been. But yeah, it's a nice board. It's a good board. I think the prototypes were quite expensive, but compared to what the group buy price will be, I think it was $320, something like that I paid, something in that kind of region. I can't remember, but I did get 2 PCBs, 2 plates and things like that, so it was a while ago. Either way, the style of the board was really, really nice. It's a lovely board. I think the price will be a little bit lower than that, so yeah, it should be good. I don't know when the group buy is starting. I think they're doing revised prototypes at the minute, so I'd imagine late February, early March time, something like that.
All right, cool, very nice. Mr. Petrov asking, that's an interesting question. After hearing recently from Teha Types that he uses 5 desk mats for his typing tests, what is your preferred desk mat layering, and have you tried 5? I had no idea he used 5 desk mats for typing tests.
That's going to really soften out the sound. That's going to really obscure the sound. It's going to make it sound deeper than it actually is, because most people aren't going to have that kind of setup. It's going to remove a lot of the high-pitched timbre. It's going to just absorb a lot of the sound. It's going to be really flat.
What do you mean most people, Jay? Nobody here is using 5 desk mats.
You never know. You never know. We might have one viewer that uses 10 desk mats and types on that. You never know. You might have people that type on a couch or on a carpet. You know, who knows?
The couch and a carpet makes sense. 5 desk mats? I don't think anyone here uses 5 desk mats comfortably, like naturally. That's just what you do.
I can't believe that he does that on 5 desk mats every time. That seems a bit strange. Maybe he's done it once, but I can't imagine he does it on all of his typing tests. That would be bizarre and surreal and
I've typed on 2 desk mats before, because sometimes, like in build streams, I'll often have like a desk mat, but I don't want to move it and I don't want to get it dirty, so I'll put like my building desk mat above that, and then I'll build on top of that, and then I'll do typing tests or whatever at the end of build streams, and oftentimes it is on 2, I suppose. I don't know. it'll definitely dampen the sound a lot, and to a lot of people, it might sound better to a lot of people. I wonder if that's why he does it. I don't know. I don't want to claim he's necessarily doing anything wrong, but it is very strange. I wouldn't want to do that for typing tests because I mean, I think for typing tests at least, you'd probably want to try to mimic what most people are trying to do, because the idea is you want people to hear what the setup sounds like. But, I mean, at the same time, typing test videos are absolutely stupid, because they don't really give you a representation of anything, really, if we're being totally honest, because there's way too many variables, so many levels of compression, their recording devices, your listening device, there's way too many variables, not including things like, their room, and we had this discussion on last week.
I mean, well. Exactly. You take that board out of the room, it's never going to sound anything like
there's
that.
There's about 800 billion different variables that change between, whether a board sounds, how it sounds in this environment versus this environment. So I don't know. I think typing tests are dumb to begin with, but a lot of people do love them. I think they're cool for ASMR or whatever, but to actually get a feel for how a board is going to sound, they are not good. It is not a good way to figure out how a board is going to sound.
It's going to be really unrepresentative, but that's using 5 decimats is going to be even more unrepresentative of what a board could sound like, because it's going to remove any of the higher pitched notes that you're going to get from any typing test, and it's going to remove all of those and dampen the sound, and it would make any board sound nicer from that perspective. So I think that's probably a very weird way of doing it, if that's what Nathan does.
Yeah, I don't understand why he would do that.
I think the only way he would do it is if he was trying to make every board that he built sound good, and I don't think Nathan would.
No, I don't think he'd really compromise integrity.
Exactly.
The guy has worked with audio video equipment for a long time. He knows his stuff. It was his profession for a while, I think, in a side project for others. But he knows his stuff. He knows his audio equipment. He knows his video equipment. He knows how to do things like this. He's already the highest quality typing test producer in our community, probably. In all of his other stuff, super high quality too. I think that he would be the last person to want to try to alter something like that, because why invest in all this high quality audio video gear if you're just going to ruin stuff like that by putting 5 decimats under a board, when in reality almost nobody, if not nobody, is using 5 decimats to just normally type on. It seems a little strange. So I'll say that.
I'm not sure I buy into that. Yeah.
So that's my thought.
Okay.
Shout out to the Royal, who did sub, as well as Classy, who donated 10 bits earlier, and Inebriated, very nice. Shout out to you guys. Did sub at tier 1 there, as well as I Am Me, You Are You just resubbed at tier 1 for 16 months. So thank you very much, guys, all of you. That is very, very kind. Also, Inebriated, I want to get on that show. It's like my goal now. I want to go on a drink with those guys, because a silly drinking keyboard show seems like the best idea ever.
Oh really? I can't remember who it was, but someone told me they categorically didn't want me on that show. I've never been asked. I've never asked to go on it.
You'd be awful on that show, Jay. They need me.
But I was told that I was actively banned from being part of their streams, but I don't know if that's true.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, but
I did not know that.
I don't know if it's true or not. I never bothered checking it out, but someone told me that I was.
Well, now we might have one of them in chat under the Inebriated account. So I don't know. There you go.
I don't know.
Maybe we can find out live in real time.
Yeah, maybe it was in one of the EU servers months and months ago. It was before Christmas, anyway. I don't know, but someone said that wasn't.
Who's talking shit on Jay? A lot of people talk shit on Jay. A lot of people talk shit on me. A lot of people talk. Everyone talks shit about everyone in this community. Is one of the main issues.
When I first joined Top Clack, Brian said, after I'd done maybe 3 or 4 shows, he said, don't ever search your name or search for Top Clack in any of the main Discord servers. And of course, as soon as he said that, I did, and I've never done it since, because it just terrified me, the amount of people that dislike things that I say or do, or they misconstrue things, and they say I've said something that I never have. It's like,
people misunderstand things really easily, and then they'll say it as it's law, and then other people that don't know any better hear that, and they're like, oh damn.
He really said that. I'm never going to watch any of his content because he said this. Like,
it's amazing what gets blown out of proportion. Oh yeah, but I mean, like, it's funny. Like, nobody's like 100% loved in this community. There's tons of people that hate me. There's tons of people that hate Jay. There's tons of people that hate Top Clack in general. There's tons of people that hate literally every vendor. Like, insert a vendor or keyboard entity here, and there are, I guarantee you, there's a group of people that really, really do not like them.
Yeah, it's weird, but you know, if you're doing something right, you're going to have people that dislike you. So
yes,
I think that
exactly.
If everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong. So,
So sometimes I like to search Top Clack in the main server, in the main RMK server and stuff. And it's funny to see what people do. A lot of it is actually fairly positive or neutral or wholesome. But you always get some people that are just like saying the weirdest things, and I'm like, I don't even. First of all, you're lying. Second of all, I have no idea who you are. But again, you're lying.
I did it that once when you mentioned it to me. I've never done it again, and I don't think I ever want to. But yeah, one of the other interesting things off the back of this is that quite often I do get people just send me random screenshots of things that people have said about me in other Discords, and it's like, they can say what they want. It's fine. I don't care.
I don't really care what people say about me because, like, it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like I don't get like upset, and it doesn't make me cry myself to sleep or anything. It's frustrating, but that's about it. But you know, people can say what they want, and I probably get 10 or 15 PMs a week where people have just said, "Oh, have you seen this?" and they'll screenshot a Discord server or a conversation in Slack or something like that. It's like, yeah, and they can say what they want. It doesn't make any difference.
People are a lot of people get really mean too. I don't mean to bring this up, but like, remember after your mother passed away, people were like actually like legitimately making memes like about how Jay like should feel stupid about feeling sad that his mother died and stuff like that. Like, people are that cruel, that bottom, like that's as low as it gets.
Yeah. I mean, there was so for those that you haven't seen, I'm not going to share the image. I'll describe it. It was a picture of me, and I did a build stream quite shortly after my mum died, and it was a screen cap of me from that stream, and it had a big ISO enter in the top corner of it, and it said ISO miss my mum, and like, who comes up with that shit? Why would people even bother to do it? It was that was quite possibly the most downheartening thing I've ever seen, and when someone sent me that did get me really angry and pretty upset.
Rightly so.
And it wasn't a good time for me at the time as well. So why people would do that kind of stuff is very frustrating. But,
yeah, it's just weird to think that in our community that like really is overall pretty wholesome, all things considered, that there are people like that will just attack you for no reason over anything. A dying relative, a dead relative. Like, why would you ever make fun of that? Why is that the first thing that goes through your head when like someone's relative dies? Like, oh, I'm gonna go make a meme of this guy feeling sad. Like, are you kidding me? How bad is your life to like have that be your thought? I don't know. I'm rambling, and I shouldn't be rambling. So I'm sorry. I'm going to wrap that up here. We're going to move on to the next question. But just be like, to all of you in chat, to everyone out there, just be a good person. It's really not that difficult. All you have to do is, you know, not make fun of people for dumb reasons. You know, just be a good person, be a friend, be there for people, help other people out. Like, let's just keep that going. Let's just do that. That's a lot more fun than making fun of people when they have family members die. Don't you all agree? Isn't that amazing? It's weird. Anyways, Lagger with our next question, asking, are there any new or innovative Switch or case modding techniques that y'all have become a fan of?
Interesting question.
Interesting question.
I mean, there's all the standard ones like lubing switches and stuff like that. There was a couple of historic ones like jailhouse modding things, but I never really got into that kind of side of it. Yeah,
I tried a jailhouse switch board once, and I was like, nope, never doing that.
Yeah, it just
I just moved on.
Too finicky and faffy and for no real benefit. And then there's things like the toothpick mod for clip-in stabilizers and stuff, and I've never bothered with that kind of thing. I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean, modding cases. So I have seen some really good cases, actually, that have inspired me to do something with my Rain case, where people have adorned the outside of the case with different bits and pieces. And resin and stuff like that, and stuck them on. So I kind of like that, and I do like custom anodization jobs. I think it's lightning, but it might not be. I might be wrong. Someone owns a really nicely customized 910, and it's kind of done all on kind of like copper patina all over it, and it's actually anodization to look like that, and then they've kind of distressed the weight on it and all of that kind of stuff. That looks really good. I'm a really big fan of that kind of thing. But other than that, not really. I'm pretty vanilla when it comes to a lot of stuff, really.
Yeah, honestly I gotta agree. I'm the same way. I haven't really seen any case or switch modding techniques that have made me want to convert over to them. I think the last time was when I first bag lubed springs, or tub lubed springs. Sorry, I didn't actually use a bag. I used a Tupperware tub. But yeah, tub lubing springs changed the game for me. That was like the point in time where I was like, holy shit, I'm doing every spring like this from now on. There's no other.
Yeah,
I'm never lubing springs individually ever again. There's no point.
Yeah, and spring swapping as well, trying an actual good spring compared to a terrible stock spring as well. That was a big revelation for me. Yeah. That was like lifting the veil. It was like, oh, it's a spring. Oh, it's a spring change. Right, it was going to kind of like a whole realization for me as well.
Entirely new switch, yeah. Yeah, so I wish I had a better answer for this. I wish there was something crazy and cool and cutting edge right now that just blows me away, but I gotta be honest, there's not.
Yeah, same. Sorry. 10 Strong with the next question. He says, tough question time. So after going over standard 104 keys, came to find the Equals Mountain,
yes.
the TX108 SE, and the Matrix 10XV.10. What other boards are there in that category that I might have missed? Seems pretty barren with 104/108 keyboards.
Full-size customs, effectively, is what we're talking about here. And you're right, there are virtually none, because most people that are buying that caliber of board, that are paying that kind of money for a board, they use smaller layouts. That's just kind of the way it is. So obviously there is a market for it, but it's a relatively small market, and I think that's part of the reason why we've only ever really seen a few of them. The Equals Mountain is an awesome board, by the way. I really like that board.
Yeah,
I got to check one out at a meetup one time, and I was like, whoa, it was blowing me away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. I've never seen one in real life. I've only seen pictures of the board, but I do like it.
It was really cool. I mean, it's kind of like a novelty. I would never use a board that big, because full size is way too big for me. It takes up way too much of my desk. Gives me way too little mouse room. But it is a really cool product, I gotta admit.
With the little LED screen in the top corner and everything else, yeah, it did look good.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. TX108, that's relatively new, all things considered. Matrix 10XV. Can you think of, I can't think of any other full size customs.
I don't think even KBDfans have done one, have they?
Not a full size, no.
No, I can't think of anything else. That's about it. I mean, you've got some that come close, like some of the 1800 kind of things, but they're not full size. And then you've had some really strange layouts, like the Duck TCV3, which is kind of kooky, but I really like it, and I would
it's fun. One of those boards.
Yeah, I really like one. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't think of any other off the top of my head, but I mean, I think the bottom line is pretty obvious. There's the market just isn't big enough to justify it. But with that said, I think we'll still see more moving forward, just because our community does grow, and obviously as our overall community grows, the niche that wants custom full-size keyboards grows as well. So
yeah,
it's only a matter of time. I think we haven't really hit the stride with that yet, because there's just not enough demand for it.
Yeah. Melodet with the next question says, did you see the Ultimate Copper Experience cable from the GMK Copper group buy? What do you think of the possible future of more artisan cable collaborations? Yeah, I saw that. I think it's great. I think we've seen it for a couple of other group buys as well, where people have had themed cables, and I've had themed cables made for other sets and other boards in the past as well. I think it's quite possible that we're going to see a lot more customization in terms of accessories in the next year or two. We've started to see that coming up. We've started to see artisan cables and all of that kind of stuff. I think we're just going to see more of it. So yeah, I think we'll definitely see a lot more, and I think they're a great idea.
Is that like really new though? Because like set themed cables have been around since at least 2016 is when I started seeing it. I mean, what makes this one kind of cool is it does kind of fit the Copper theme with the patina on like the Wemo connector, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, that is cool. But as far as like just the colorway goes, custom cables for sets have been around for many, many years already. But it is cool, obviously. Like, accessorizing around a colorway is always kind of cool, and we've seen that growing in the community substantially. You know, not right. Just custom cables is kind of where it started, but you know, now every key set has a desk mat, and it has, you know, artisan collaborations, it has ramen novelties, it has you know, custom art for this and that, and it's like it's a very big deal, colorways these days. It's not just a key set anymore. A colorway is, you know, the idea behind it and all the products that kind of encompass it. So to me, this is nothing new, but it's cool. I think it's good that people have the option. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Cool.
Yep. All right. Sorry, we're a little behind on chat, so just catching up now.
Yeah, I've lost where we were in chat, to be honest.
I found it. Okay, so the Sweaty Yeti donates 250 bits. Thank you so much. He's actually donated a total of 350 bits. If I move forward in chat a little bit. So thank you so much, man. That's very kind of you. Jack Static is saying, invite Inebriated on as special guest, please. Maybe we do an interview with that. I think either one of us going on that show makes more sense than either of them coming on this show.
Probably.
Just because of the way that Inebriated works. I think that makes more sense. But with that said, I'm kind of down to do whatever. I asked them a while back if I could come on, and they said yeah. We just never really nailed down a time because we were kind of busy the upcoming couple weeks. So let me just get back to them with that. I'd love to go on because it's just like guys like drinking and having fun and talking about keyboards, and it sounds.
It's a great watch. I watch it.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. I'm not trying to be mean, but the show is like, you know, not really structured at all. It's kind of a lot of it feels kind of afterthought-y, but exactly that is kind of the charm of it as well. Is it's kind of just people hanging out, drinking, talking about keyboards, and you know, I think a lot of us, we kind of lose track so much when we try to like structure like the function of everything to where we can't really we kind of forget about how enjoyable it is just to goof off and have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, what it really reminds me of, and I apologize, I don't catch every show, but I do watch quite a lot of them. What it reminds me of is, do you remember when we were in Seattle, Brian? And I think it was the second to last night we had in the Seattle house, the day of the meetup. And on that night time, we just had like 50 people in the house or something, it seemed. It was just everyone there. It was like IME UIU was there, and Dixie was there, and you know, all of the people that were staying with us were there, and their partners and other people as well. I think Merlin turned up.
A lot of people showed up. Yeah.
Every time I watch and Inebriated, it just reminds me of that night where we were just sat there drinking, chilling, talking about keyboards and taking stuff apart and putting it together. And yeah, it was just such a good night. It was a really, really, really good night. Chris was there from, you know, the guy who did the staccato board and stuff like that. Yeah, just really, really nice people. And every time we're watching Inebriated, it just reminds me and takes me back to that night, which was a really, really good night. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Also, right after that, he did respond earlier, and he says, Jay, we have certainly not banned you. You'd be more than welcome. So there you go.
Yeah, I think maybe we should both go on at separate times, and we should both get that experience. Yeah, because just let us know when and where. Yeah.
There's two hosts of that show, right? And they pretty much always have a guest host. I've seen a few episodes, but I haven't seen either. I haven't seen all of them, just like Jay. So yeah, I think having 4 people on screen at once gets really, really cluttered. I know we do it sometimes with like anniversary stuff or whatever, but like it really is not ideal. It's really not. Like 3 is already starting to push it, and I feel like that's kind of where we should probably draw the line. So yeah, if we went on, I think different times would probably be a good way to do it. But we can talk to them and try to work that out. No problem.
Yeah, so reach out, guys. Let us know when you want to have one of us on, and yeah, we can do something. It'll be fun. It'll be good.
Absolutely. All right. Jack says, I'm sorry for always taking it one step too far in Discord. I don't know what he's talking about. Is he talking about... Is Jax one of the people that trash talks us? I wouldn't be surprised. What's actually kind of funny is there have been multiple times... I haven't done this in a while, but when I did used to kind of go back and I would search like Top Clack or my name or whatever in other servers just to see like what other people like say.
Sure.
A lot of the times, some of the people talking shit are the people that are super active in supporting Top Clack and like spend a lot of time in the Top Clack server. And I'm like, if you guys hate like me or Top Clack, like why are you here? I don't understand. it's always kind of interesting. And I don't call people out. I don't like PM them. I'm like, hey, this is. I'm not that guy. But like, it's always kind of interesting to see like who's talking shit, because a lot of the times like those kinds of people are like super nice to your face and like they're in the server and like they're supportive and they do stuff, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but.
I can just imagine them. They're like, "Hey, Brian, how you doing?" And then literally switch over to the server and like, "Fucking Brian, man, fuck that guy. I can't stand him. I can't stand Clack. What am I doing watching that?"
Exactly.
And it's like literally like a flip second. Yeah.
Look, I get it. Like, not everyone's gonna love me. People are gonna hate me. Like, I get that. I don't care if people hate me. I don't care if people hate Clack. Sure, whatever. Do what you want. Live your life. That's fine. But like, it's funny when it's just those same people that are also like, yeah, my friend and blah blah blah, and they support the show. And I don't know. It's always interesting to me just to see that. I'm always like, okay, so that's the real you. All right.
Yeah, fun. Jax does come back with another question. He says, "Can we make fun of your beards?" Sure, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if you guys make fun of me. I've worked in customer service for 15 years now. I have pretty thick skin. Like, anything that you guys say about me or Clack or Jay, like, I'm not going to be bothered by it. I brush it off. It's in one ear, out the other. I'm on to the next thing. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely the same.
So yeah,
I'll get frustrated for a couple of minutes, and then I'll like whatever. It doesn't matter. And Jay Chef comes up with a good point as well. He says the good news is look at that check. Way more good peeps, and he's right. If you look at the stack of negativity to positivity, the community is way more positive than it is negative, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So
and that's reflected in Clack as well. Like, most of the time, people are saying relatively nice things at the very least, or at least constructive criticism, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's only been a small handful of people that are like, F this guy and F Clack. And those guys are all terrible Nazis and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where'd you come up with this stuff? But
that's fine.
Whatever. Like, yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the Q&A because
next question comes from
rambling.
TRG, and he says, "Have you guys tried the liquid latex mod?" I haven't. I have seen it. I haven't tried it as yet, but maybe I should do it at some point. Maybe I'll try it on a filter. Yeah, so you can put liquid latex on things to make them smoother, such as stabilizers and stuff like that. Designed to reduce friction and reduce rattle as well, I guess. But I haven't tried it. Yeah. I have no thoughts on whether it would improve or not improve the situation as well. So.
Yeah, I have not tried it either, and I haven't really seen anything on it, so that's kind of new to me.
I think there's some videos. I think it might have been Fake Jay in Clack who posted a video of it on the Clack Discord. He's not really a fake.
I was about to say, I like how people like still refer to him as Fake Jay.
Fake Jay, yeah. I'm pretty sure he posted a video on it, but I haven't tried it myself, and I will do it at some point, but I have no plans yet. But I'll get it on stream at some point. Yeah.
Right.
Geo as well says thoughts on the TX acrylic TKL, the EO87. I think these look great. So I did get asked if I was going to build one, but then the guy I think went with someone else, which is fine. So I haven't had a chance to even see one yet, but I think they look pretty interesting. They sold out within a couple of minutes, and they were a good price. And it's like an aluminium top on an acrylic base, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot about this. Yeah, I saw a picture of this, and I just totally forgot to add it to the news doc. But
they look fine.
Looks pretty good.
I'm interested to try one out. I think TX, after the stuff that we saw TX come out with earlier on in the week, where he decided to change the TX lineup and not call his boards TX65 and whatever else going forwards, he's going to come up with new names. I thought it was really nice to see something as positive as the EO87 come out that did really well, and I'm really excited to see some build streams of them. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to check one out. If anyone out there got one and they want one built for free, let me know, because I definitely would like to check one of these out. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that acrylic base. Wow, that's so big.
Yeah, right.
That is such a big TKL. I mean, it makes the lighting pretty cool though. There's no arguing about that, especially on that crystal version.
Yeah, it looks good. I think
I hadn't actually really seen this before.
Yeah.
I'll put
Talisman Solution. Oh, sorry. Yeah, put that in. Yeah.
So people can see what I'm.
Talisman Solution says you both suck just significantly less than everyone else in my life. Well,
wait. What? You both suck just significantly less? Yeah.
That makes me think two things. It we probably do suck, and that makes me feel really bad for your life. I'm really sorry, man. I don't want to be the the best thing by default just because we're terrible, but we're the least terrible thing.
If Jay and or myself or Top Clack as an entity is the best thing in your life, I hope it's not the best thing in your life. Well,
yeah, I hope that's a joke. Yeah, there are way better things out there. Yeah,
yeah, but we do love you hanging out around here, and obviously, you know, we're all in this together. Life often sucks. I hate to be, you know, kind of pessimistic, but sometimes life sucks, and it's kind of cool when you have good people around you. And this community has been there for me for a lot of it. So I can't really complain. I've gone through a lot of rock bottom over the last few months, both health wise and otherwise. And you know, this community's always been there for me and been great for me. So you know, shout out to all of you guys being awesome.
Yeah, and while we're giving shout out to Japanese horror writer for his customary 1,000 spooky bits. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate all the bits and everything else, the donations, the subs, everything else this week, guys. Really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. And that's actually going to do it for us on questions. And we're below the 3-hour mark still, so I think we're gonna take off here before it hits the 3-hour mark. So. That is going to wrap us up for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show as much as we did. If you check below the stream, you'll find a myriad of links, including ones to our official YouTube channel, which you can go check out. You can catch all the VODs there. We got typing tests, etc. You can also join our official Discord server. You can come talk to us about keyboards or you know, your BMX hobby or your cheese. I don't know. There's something for everyone there. We got channels for whatever, pretty much. So
cars.
Yeah, you want to talk about cars. You want to talk about you know, the problems you're going through in your life. Maybe we can be of help, be of service. There's something for everyone there. So yeah, make sure to check that out. Upcoming streams on Sunday. Do you have anything, Jay?
TBC at the minute, so I have plenty to do. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be streaming on Sunday this week or not. I'm not sure if timescales are going to let me. There will be an announcement, as always, in the Discord on Saturday if I'm going to be doing a stream on Sunday. At the minute, I think it's 50-50. If I don't do a stream this weekend, there will definitely be one next weekend and every other subsequent weekend as well, as always. The next build is going to be my Honeyboard 60 though, so this was kindly given to me by the guys behind the Honeyboard. So Potoko, if you're watching, thank you very much, man. I'm really, really excited to build that board and see how it sounds. I've got a custom carbon fiber plate. I actually sent him one as well. He asked for an ISO plate when I said, do you want one? And he's going to build his an ISO as well. Yeah, he specifically requested an ISO plate. So yeah, so I'm gonna that will be my next build, but as I say, I'm not sure if it's going to be this Sunday or next Sunday. I've got quite a busy weekend and next couple of days planned, so I might not get a chance to stream on Sunday night. But if I don't, I'll put up an announcement anyway and say that I'm not going to be streaming or that I am going to be streaming, so you guys will know either way. But failing that, I'll be back here next week and then definitely have a build stream a week on Sunday anyway.
Cool. Very, very awesome. All right, so I don't have any upcoming build streams at the moment. However, like I mentioned previously, Behind the Keyboard, the interview series for Top Clack is coming, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I have one guest already scheduled, but that's going to be 2 weeks out. I'm trying to schedule one for next week as well. So trying to get things working. I'm just waiting on a couple of replies from people because you know, time zone issues and stuff. So
sure, nice.
Yeah. So I have one confirmed episode coming up in 2 weeks, and hopefully one confirmed for next week as well. So that's starting very soon. Just tracking people down. So look forward to that. I know interviews have been by a landslide the most requested thing for Top Clack to do, because obviously we used to do it. It used to be really half-assed. I'm not really happy with the way that we used to do it, so I'm changing it. I'm making it better. I'm making it a little bit more structured, a little bit more professional, a little bit more in-depth. It's going to be a better time than it used to be. Let's just say that. But yeah, so look forward to that. Episode's already confirmed, coming up very, very, very soon. Shout out to JSim911, who does sub with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, any closing thoughts, Jay?
No, but guys, thank you very much for all your support that you've shown us today. It's been fantastic. There's been a ton of bits. The hype train at the beginning was absolutely a ton of fun. I'm hoping we can keep them going over the coming weeks. Yeah, really excited to get my mountain blocks package tomorrow because your shirt looks amazing, Brian. So
it does. It feels amazing too.
Yeah, I love olives as well. The more you play with that, the more I like olives.
I love this thing, dude. I always have it right next to me on my desk. It's fantastic, and the little pimento is just too.
Mine's tucked just over there, just out of view.
That's just too cute, man. Too cute.
It's also slightly rude.
That's a little lewd, but that's a good time to end. It's always good to end on something lewd, as we all know, Jay. So, from Top Clack and from the Now Love plushie, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, whether it's morning, noon, or night.
Yeah. See you guys.